Hey, what's happening, gamers? Welcome to the first hour of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. And I have too much of a headache from all the smoke, so I can't really edit the Star Wars episode we did or more Pokemon, so I hope you guys will enjoy the stream instead. And yeah, so we're going to do about the first, try to do about the first hour, see how far as I can get. But thanks for waiting, and sorry about today.
Listen, I don't want to upset your rhythm, Cal, but the boss wants a word. It'll be good for us. Here he is, Chief.
An error has been detected on line 10A. All our clamps are jammed. I need 2 workers to climb up and secure the cables.
That's not an easy maneuver.
The guild will double your pay for this shift.
Come on, Cal. What's your score? That couldn't hurt. Huh?
Okay.
All right, let's go.
Get to work.
This way.
I'm right behind you.
Couldn't pay me enough to salvage live munitions.
Sorry, Cal.
Don't worry about it.
I don't think these tools are gonna make it through the ship.
Up here. Now you look at that. A separatist ship. I haven't seen a Luke or Hulk in ages.
Yeah. Ages.
Breaking her will be big money. All right, let's go.
Okay, so this is Cal. He is a, well, I don't want to spoil things for you, but he's the main character of this game. And he's a pretty interesting character. But he's the main character of this game.
Hey, you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Ladder's out, though. You're gonna have to find another way.
Yeah, no problem. I'll improvise.
See you there, pal.
Depart this barge immediately. You are not approved trash.
I'm trash, just not approved trash.
Easy there.
Just passing through.
Hurry up. We're close to finishing ahead of schedule. I can just about taste the credits. Gonna be a wild night tonight. Let's get this job done.
So, this is mostly going to be a very cinematic experience tonight, guys, so I hope you guys will enjoy Jedi Fallen Order, and I'll try to chime in every once in a while.
Good to see you.
Not feeling the best.
That's the idea. Sounds like scrap rats. Creepy. Just passing through, guys. No need to come out and say hi this time.
Cal, I'll meet you at the clamps.
Sounds good. Be there soon.
How'd you get here?
How'd you get here?
Look, the ship cutter is here. There it goes. Hey, we should get moving. Yep, good looking out.
Hurry, we gotta finish before they start cutting this wing.
After that, after that.
Cal, use the manual override lever below.
Got it. Your turn.
Hold on. All right, plant secured. Whoa. You okay?
Still here.
Give me a fright there, pal.
Done.
Hang on. I got this. We're done. Get on up here. Come take a look at this. It's a Jedi fighter. What a score. It's a real scrapper's payday. I mean, this thing's been here, what, 4 years?
5.
Whoever flew this went down in a blaze of glory. Those Jedi. Real tragedy. Yeah, I've always said they couldn't all be traitors.
Yeah, maybe.
This is just our lucky day. Empire's gonna get a lot of good material out of it. Yeah, here we are, scrapping these ships from the war just so they can turn around and make new ones. What a racket, huh? All of us risking our necks for the bosses. And the pay was better back during the Republic, too.
Hey, you really should watch what you say.
Well, listen to me. Find us feel like this, it'll be your ticket off this soggy rock.
What makes you think I want out of here?
Come on, Cal, you're a young guy. You don't end up like me. Eventually, you gotta move on and live your life. Find your destiny.
Whatever you say. Hey, we should get back down.
You're not listening to me. What was that?
All right, guys, there's a lot of dialogue right now, so we'll chime in a little bit. Also, I don't want to give away spoilers for things, so just be a few minutes.
Bro, you okay?
Cal! I can't climb up!
Bro, just hang on.
I'm slipping!
No, don't let go.
I can't hold on!
Bro, no! You okay, bro?
I'm all right. Just pinned down.
Pilot's gone. I'll get us out of here. Just hang on.
Watch out, Cal!
Look out! This thing is barely flying. Hold on! Bro, you all right?
Yeah. Okay,
We gotta move. Come on.
What the hell happened? What was that back there? Was that you? Well, that was the Force, wasn't it?
Just forget what you saw, okay? Please
No,
trust
but
me.
I've seen the stories. I've heard it.
Prof,
Bounties out on people
I
like
know.
you.
I know.
Yeah, all right. We need to be careful. Yeah.
Okay. Can you guys hear? So, pretty much, as you guys just figured out, Cal is a Jedi who is in hiding, and he just saved his buddy's life. So, I mean, this Star Wars game has a lot of dialogue in it,
You
so...
holding up okay?
Good. Yeah. You?
Yeah.
They've called it a more cinematic Star Wars
Cal.
experience than some of the other games of late.
I've been working with you some time now. I've never seen you do anything like that before. We've been through some hell together. So, I know the risk that you took for me. I don't know how to repay you.
Don't mention it. I mean it.
Oh, you don't have to worry about me. This place, it's not safe. Maybe you should, disappear.
Just gonna head back to my place, grab my bag. Tappers owes me a favor.
I heard he was up on Nar Shaddaa.
Yeah. You won't be seeing me for a while, Prof.
Yeah, okay. Okay, Cal.
Prof? Prof, wait up.
Alright, so what makes the Star Wars game different than some of the other ones you guys have probably played is this one is not just about, like, all the story, but it's more of like an adventure game than an action-oriented one. There's some action involved with it, but there's also a lot of platforming and puzzle solving. So, I mean, it's kind of like the old Jedi Knight games a little bit, but not like Jedi Knights of the Old Republic. I'm talking like the Jedi Knight game that re-released on Switch and PS4, the old GameCube game. It's in the vein of that. It's not so much like the Star Wars game about Vader's apprentice, which is very, very heavy on the action, like constantly. This one, it's kind of sporadic. It breaks things up. But when you do get to the actual combat of the game, it's amazing. Like, the lightsaber combat is a lot of fun. And, yeah. And this story ties into after the Jedi Purge, like several years. So this is right before A New Hope, I think. I'm not sure yet because we haven't gotten that far in the game.
Apprentice, mark well and listen.
Master.
Trust only in the Force.
Train has stopped.
Yeah, something's going on.
Everybody up. Identification ready. Move out and line up.
Probably just another contraband inspection.
Yeah, really contraband. Also, I need to stress, guys and gals, that this game is heavy teen. It's a pretty intense Star Wars game, so viewer discretion is advised from here on out.
Is this all of them?
Yes, second sister.
We seek a dangerous fugitive. This is no common anarchist, but a devotee of the treasonous Jedi Order. Failure to turn over this traitor will result in a charge of sedition. Turn yourself in, or everyone present shall face summary execution.
I think it's time someone came forward. I've been working on this heap a long time. Way before the war. We refit and rebuilt ships. Best in the galaxy. Then came the Empire. And engineers became scrappers. The workers, they just started getting worked. We all know the truth. We're just too afraid to say it. To the Empire, we're all just expendable.
Yes, you are.
No!
Look at this, a lightsaber.
I found the Jedi!
What's that? Checking out the disturbance.
Oh, that hurts.
Hold it. Don't move. How'd you get here?
Easy now.
Got a stowaway.
Hey, you don't need to call this in.
Quiet. This is TK-8190. Repeat, did you say Jedi? Copy that. I've got the traitor here.
Alright, so, yeah, we're Jedi.
Gotcha.
Little lightsaber. Dead. Dead. So yeah, lightsaber combat in this game is pretty awesome, but I don't really like how the Jedi looks in this game. I understand he's supposed to be like a you know, a Padawan that's in hiding, but he could look cooler.
Hear that over the comm? A Jedi? Stay sharp. They won't get past us. The traitor, blast him.
So all you have to do is you can literally deflect lasers by waiting until they come right at you and just shoot it right back at them. It's kind of cool. Yep. Ow. Sorry guys, doing this with a little bit of a pounding head, so I'm probably not going to have the best gameplay, but trying to show off the combat as best you can. So right now we're on a speeding train. We have just fallen from, basically, you guys remember the Inquisitors from new Star Wars canon, especially the old Star Wars Rebels. Well, it's not really an old show, but from a couple years ago, the whole Star Wars Rebels thing introduced the Inquisitors. Vader's like a little army of recruited Jedi that have become like Sith people, which contradicts the original Star Wars canon, where it was only like, you know, Vader and Palpatine that were going around and wiping out all the Jedis and stuff like that. There was no evil Jedi Order or whatever. So I mean, that's all Disney stuff, which I think is stupid, but oh well. So they have new Inquisitors in this. You have the second sister, which we don't know much about her yet. We only have this episode recorded, and I don't believe we did the next one, which you guys will see.
Gotta keep moving.
Once you get to the platforming aspect. Like, this is the action-oriented thing. This is like, hey, this is what this Star Wars game is going to be about. A lot of action, but then they kind of change it up once you get to your first planet.
I chose to rest instead.
Not until the evening tomorrow. Late evening.
Rest when you're dead,
I'm gonna be sleeping for some time. And you won't have a new Pokemon episode until like 4 or 5 o'clock either. Sorry about that.
Enemy here.
Can't be helped though. Okay, so I think that says. What is that saying? L1? Oh, that's right, the parry system. Oh my gosh. So I mean, right now, the guys are going to be endless because they're trying to teach you how to do the parry system.
I won't let up.
You're not letting up. Whoops. Sorry, I got one eye closed, so. I didn't want to show the respawn point till later, but oh well. What you're supposed to do is stop that rotating thing in the background, but I'm kind of messing up quite a bit. And I don't know. I'm sorry you guys had to wait so long, but today just hasn't gone according to plan at all. So switch targets.
Look alive. Keep calm.
Thank you so much for the super chat, Ruga. It was Thank you for the $10 super chat.
Thank you, Ruga. So I need to carry him. There we go. Until I get the parry right, you're not gonna let me leave? Oh, that's annoying. There we go. Yeah, I did use the parry. Now they teach you the force flow. And now we can use it on this. There we go. So you're gonna want to climb up this. And then head back out onto the top of the train. Now, unlike most Star Wars games that you guys are probably used to... Hang on. Yeah, goodbye. This one, if you hold in the block button, all he's going to do is deflect the lasers. He's not going to deflect the lasers right back at the people. So, in order to do that, you're going to have to time it perfectly and just tap the L1 button so that you shoot the laser right back at them. The last time I remember a Star Wars game really doing that is the Phantom Menace game on the PlayStation and the PC a long time ago. Most Star Wars games, it's been kind of automatic when you hold in the lightsaber and as you walk toward people, then you would deflect it at them. So this goes back to kind of the old school Star Wars controls.
The fugitive comes this way. I'm ready for it.
Yeah, I'm trying not to spoil too much of it because our video, like, I don't know, our videos that we did, like, our first impressions of it and stuff, so I'm just here to sit next to it while he showcases it, so.
Yeah, Amber's...
Plus, I think he's kind of annoyed at me that I killed the house this time, so.
I'm not annoyed at you.
You are!
Fine, yeah, okay, I'm a little... It changed up everything today. I can't read too well with one eye open, so... I really like the combat in this game, though. It's a lot of fun. So, like some previous Star Wars games, guys and gals, you also get a skill tree that unlocks new lightsaber abilities, but I don't think we're going to get that far. So you'll be able to throw your lightsaber, you can do like an overhead strike, you can do like a speed strike. I mean, the lightsaber abilities you unlock are really cool. I don't know if there's a New Game Plus thing, because, like I said, we're not that far. But as far as Star Wars openings go, this really feels cool.
Get to the front, stop the train. Oh no! Need cover. Gotta move in between bursts. Now.
Whoops. Again, one eye open. So I'm not doing too bad for one eye open. I guess it's just how Nick Fury does things.
Yeah, then we got a cat strike.
No, I don't have a cat strike.
Faster!
Ow. Ow.
He's here. I'm ready for you.
Haha.
He shot the coupling out. Only way is up.
What's going on with the thing where about the art stuff you were sending out. So sorry it took me so long to contact you back. I went to your channel for one of your most recent videos and I just wrote you a little note there, so sorry about that. And thank you so much for reaching out to me. I know you didn't even say anything like that. I just wanted to go. I'm sitting fucking sweet.
Who are you?
No time! Keep moving! We'll pick you up when we can!
No, I haven't lost an eye. I have a very bad headache on this side of my head. I'll be fine tomorrow. Just we have to wait for the smoke to dissipate, that's all.
We got a rough week anyway, but yeah, the one thing that you guys noticed that was trying to darken the thumbnails a lot is we left them with some injuries.
Well, I mean, it's not just that. I mean, it doesn't really matter though. I mean, we're gonna have to change up how content's due because basically we're getting a pay cut or we face a fine. There's not much we can do about it. So, I mean, I love Nintendo games, but I'm not going to be playing a lot of them on this channel, and no YouTuber really is, unless they take a huge pay cut. Because pretty much until the FTC changes things, they even view the Star Wars game as for kids. They're drunk with power and they don't understand. So I mean, I can tell you No, it's fine. I am annoyed about that stuff, but I can tell you guys, like, point blank right now, I mean, I'm probably gonna have to make a video on Kwings Let's Plays explaining stuff later, but, we're not gonna be able to look at LEGO games on this channel anymore. Every LEGO game that we've ever done is gonna have to be listed as for kids. Certain properties, like Pokemon and other things, according to the FTC, is gonna have to be relabeled. We're gonna have to basically relabel half the channel, and we're gonna lose probably half our income. I mean, half our income is better than no income, but we're gonna be looking at heavy T-rated games from now on, starting January 1st, so Final Fantasy VII Remake will be on this channel, One Punch Man, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, a lot of stuff. Otherwise, you're gonna have a middleman come in and pay you a lot less. I don't know what to do, guys and gals. Yep. Oh yeah.
People that have changed people's lives for the better, their business is going down.
So for a lot of those games that I mentioned that we won't be playing on this channel, you guys will have to watch us on Twitch. Because Twitch has different rules. This is strictly YouTube right now.
I recognize that stance. Perhaps you've had some training after all. Who was your master? Padawan? Someone I killed, perhaps? What Jedi gave their life so that you might live? You can't run forever.
I have no intention of running forever. Alright, so... Yeah, they're telling us, oh, you, unlocked your roll. You roll with the circle. And the easiest way to fight this boss is you want a highlighter, so... We're gonna highlight her, so the little dot... Ow.
Your demise draws near.
Okay, I didn't do it right. What? Alright, Yeah. I got it. Autumn, on your last video on your channel, Amber wrote you about some stuff, so check that out. Amber's voice is kind of small, and she's been doing her best not to give away spoilers for this, like, little preview thing, so... although I'm pretty sure you guys know that Cal is a former Jedi now. I mean, he's got a lightsaber, he's fighting a Inquisitor, so...
Your end is near.
Yeah, I know, I'm trying to use my force powers.
This is too easy. Very well. You won't dodge the next.
So, like, when I record, I can get louder?
No, you just get more confidence when I'm around.
says it's weird how you get hit with a lightsaber and then it passes through the bomb.
Yeah, I find it kind of weird that you can't dismember stormtroopers and stuff in this game compared to some older Star Wars games because,
grab some seat.
you know, once a lightsaber cuts through something, it doesn't tend to just leave spark damage. But in this game, they refuse to,
Who are you people?
to cut off limbs
My name is Seer
for
Junda,
people.
and this is my captain, Grease Dritus.
How you doing? Yeah, the Mantis is my ship, but you better pay attention to this lady here.
So, who are you?
Cal. Kestis. Who was that back there?
An Imperial Inquisitor. She's a Force user hunting Jedi survivors. And now that she knows who you are, she will not stop until she destroys
Sorry, Force
you.
How do you
user.
know so much? And why'd you help me?
We track Imperial communications. We heard the Inquisitors were heading to Braca.
I like to call them Fallen Jedi, but
Oh, yeah?
they're just called Force users. They're not
What's the
Jedi.
bounty on Jedi these days anyway?
That's gratitude for you.
Look, I get it. You've been surviving on your own for so long that it's impossible to trust anyone. And it's what's kept you alive. But this is about something bigger than just surviving.
Like what?
Like rebuilding the Jedi Order.
You two? Anybody else?
Oh, we're not good enough for you?
The Jedi Council?
They're gone.
So I'm all you've got.
Captain, set a course for Bogano.
Aye, aye.
In the meantime, try and relax. Go, you're safe. For now.
You gotta move on and live your life. Find your destiny. Calico! You were talking in your sleep. Weirdo.
Before I explore the ship, guys and gals, I just want to say something off the top of my mind real quick. So just, not necessarily apologies, but I just need to express this. Like, Star Wars and superheroes and Lego stuff has come a long way, and a lot of that is thanks to people Amber and my age and other things. Like, it can't be fully considered a child property again because, like, there's so many different aspects of it. There's both a kid-friendly version of Star Wars, and then there's Star Wars for everyone else and older. According to the US government, like, any game that has superheroes or Star Wars or Indiana Jones, or they listed about 50 different brands in a video that's circulating on YouTube about the games and child properties that they're going after. What they don't understand, and I know that you will have to watch this video, you stupid FTC intern, there are different aspects of these brands that are not for kids anymore. This game in particular is T-rated. There's swearing, there's death, there's betrayal, there's enslavement. There's all kinds of stuff that's going to happen in this Star Wars story that's not targeted for kids. Just because there's lightsabers and there's stormtroopers running around, that doesn't mean anything. Fortnite is a game about guns. It's not a kid's game. Lego, I will give you at. I will give you Lego. Lego is definitely something that can be given for kids. But DC Comics is now very adult. It's a very, very gray area in the law currently because Batman and DC is seen as, like, for older audiences. His previous games were rated M. He had some heavy T-rated games. Very, very few child-friendly things involving Batman or DC superheroes. Marvel has gone out of their way to do a lot of kid-friendly stuff the past 10 to 15 years. So yeah, Marvel is probably something that would have to be labeled as for kids now, unfortunately, including the Spider-Man game that just came out. Because what they're going to do, YouTubers watching, is they're going to look for things that are bright and happy. They're going to look for things that are, quote, child attractive starting January 1st. So unfortunately on this channel, we're going to have to mark half our content that we've ever done as for kids, meaning we're going to get a massive pay cut. So come January, I'm going to have to push my Patreon, and all of December I'm going to be doing a lot of my streams over on Twitch, because we have no other way of making income, guys and gals.
The thing is that I don't understand, like, when people keep saying, well, you'll just go to Twitch. Well, like, first of all, Twitch doesn't pay as much as YouTube
No,
did.
it doesn't, because they already have things in place to, because Twitch is not a child-friendly site, or like for everyone's site. They have different like rules and regulations, but part of the reason why Twitch people don't make as much. Can I finish, please?
Yeah, but I was talking and you kind of interrupted me.
Well,
actually.
part of the reason why Twitch people don't make them as much is because Twitch has been following COPPA for a long time, and like they don't do the same type of like advertisements that YouTube was able to do with their targeted ads and stuff like that. So that means they make less money.
Well, what I was saying was, number one, people say go to Twitch, but number one, it makes less money, but number two, well, there's many factors why it's hard to go to Twitch. Number two, we're not streamers, really. We make videos at home, like, on our own, like, together, and play games together. I didn't start it out as a streamer. I'm not like streaming for a long time actually stresses me out. I always make videos, like, in my living room. That's not, I have to completely learn a whole new skill. But number three, which is the biggest part of not going to Twitch, is that we have to start from square one all over again.
Yeah, we don't have an audience on Twitch.
We started from square one in 2006 on YouTube. We have so much back taxes and back like SSI payments that we can barely put our lights on at this point because we have so many thousands of dollars in bills for this channel. If we say we go to Twitch and we make 1/4 the income we're making here, we'll still, even if we're making a lot, we would still be out on the street because we can't pay the bills.
Yep.
That's what I wish people would understand. Like, I don't know, it's just impossible. Like, because of what YouTube did to us, we literally, unless we can continue to make what we make to keep it alive, it won't, I don't.
Yeah, I'm
just gonna let you go.
I just want to tell people, most of the YouTubers that are just saying, well, I'll just just change my channel as for kids, and the only reason I'm talking about this, people, I heard back from, I don't know if most people know this, but I have a lawyer, but I have a lawyer for disability. He's a disability lawyer, but he was looking into this whole COPPA thing because sometimes he does stuff for our business, and the problem with how vague the law is right now, that we're trying to get changed, and we have until December 9th to get ratified, which it's a very tough battle, and unfortunately there's some big YouTubers that are heading to Washington to yell at the politicians, and that's going to make things worse. These are people that play Fortnite and Roblox. Just the other day they released a video where they're very angry, the U.S. government is, and they're just going to go after all 23 million YouTube channels. And they're going to have like an army of interns checking everybody's channel starting January 1st.
Why can we not just fight it and make a union, etc.? I mean, all of these things are great ideas, but Luke and I are already working ourselves to the bone just trying to even have the amount of money that we have, even doing YouTube, which pays a lot compared to Twitch. Imagine if we not only have to keep our income going on YouTube, but also have to start going our income on Twitch. Plus, we're thinking about making a coalition of YouTubers and fighting this bill. How is that even possible when Luke sleeps 2 and 3 hours a night as it is, and we're always sick? It's impossible. Like, we can't possibly fight what unless there's time or energy to do it. There's nothing that could fight it. Like, there's just nothing. Like, I mean, there is a guy, like the guy who originally was fighting it is a lawyer with a family channel, and
he's still fighting it. I mean, he was able to get them to listen to YouTubers until December 9th, and then December right before Christmas, they're going to meet and they're going to go over all the comments that people have left for the FTC, which right now there's been
I'm gonna be leaving
4 to 5,000 comments the FTC to read, and now...
And I retweeted that on my Twitter, the place where you can leave the comment.
Do you know how big the petition has gotten now? Petition is 175,000 signatures. So, I mean...
Can I just say my original question?
Sure.
Or no?
Mm-hmm.
So, speaking from all the knowledge that I've gotten from my debate class in school, back in high school. So, when you're a lawyer, you define the problem, you define your argument by definitions.
Mm-hmm.
So they changed the definition. They define all family-friendly channels as junk channels, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So, theoretically, if you're a lawyer, if you could find a family-friendly channel that was not junk, and prove it to them, and prove it in a court of law that this channel is not, quote, junk, then you would actually break their definition of a junk channel. Really, I mean, I would go after their definition of what a junk channel is. That's what I would do as a lawyer, because you can't say because something... I mean, are you going to call, all the family-friendly shows from the 90s junk? You know?
It's not...
I mean, are you going to call Mr. Rogers' show junk? I mean, what are you're saying it's junk? I mean, that's what I would go after. I would go after that definition.
Their definitions are very wrong, but according to this guy in Washington and this group that's working there, when the FTC clearly defined what they're going after for child attractive, Star Wars, Marvel, superheroes, Disney characters, like cartoons, drawings, unboxings, like they listed off like hundreds of different things, and they literally pretty much half our channel consists of the brands that they mentioned by name. Transformers, Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers. They don't believe... these people are so ignorant that they have no idea that there is a adult merchandising for Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers. That kids don't even really... The kids aspect of those things are slowly depleting because they just aren't interested in those properties as much as other people. Transformers is heavily an adult property now, but they have that listed as, if you make Transformers content, you, honest to God, need to label your channel for kids, or you could face a fine of $42,000 per video.
Yeah.
I mean, just to put that in perspective for you guys, we have 6,000 videos. That's almost $750 million in fines USD. You know? This is insane. And it shows you how backwards the U.S. government is and how out of touch they are with the actual public, because they go to the theater, they watch Star Wars, but in their mind they see Star Wars and they think kids' property. This game right now, I'm encouraging parents, do not let your kids watch this game because there's some very terrifying things in this. This is a T-rated game for a reason. It's not an E-rated, it's not a Lego game. There are going to be characters that you meet all the time that are going to get stabbed and shot and killed because this is Star Wars. Star Wars is a property about war in space.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Can I just address what some people were asking
Of course,
in the comments?
of course, and then I'll continue.
I just wanted to address one thing, and that's what people said. Okay, Kwings Let's Plays will no longer be a family-friendly channel anymore. I'm so sad. I just wanted to let you guys know that we will probably be the most family-friendly channel left on YouTube, because most people are going to go to much worse extremes.
They're going to go to extremes.
We've already heard from people the kind of extremes they're going to go to not be family-friendly. So, I mean, Luke and I are going to go the teen route. We'll try to make our thumbnails darker and stuff, but it's still us. And we're still trying to be a light here on YouTube. We're not trying to completely forego and not care about our own principles. We obviously have them, but we can't just openly say that we're here for a safe place for kids anymore. We have to just say that we're here for all ages, and if we're asked out loud, are you for kids, we have to say no, otherwise they'll delete us.
Yeah, so I mean, the fine is a very real thing, but the other thing that's going to be more likely, because I mean, yeah, the U.S. government's probably going to go after... I mean, in all honesty, the channels that are going to be hit really heavily by this will be people like the Game Grumps, because they are child attractive, even though they say they're not. What people have been so wrong about, what I have been wrong about until the lawyer looked at this, is it has nothing to do with your content. It has to do with the properties that you are showcasing that are child attractive. As I said this before, the brands that you look at that are listed by the FTC by name now, there are hundreds of brands that they see as only for kids. They don't pay attention to the adult market for these brands. They see in their mind, and the person who's going to look over your channels, YouTubers watching, is going to be an intern that just wants to go up the ladder in their political career. They're not someone that is familiar with how things change. They are out of touch of reality. Okay? They're just NPCs. They're not really human. You know? And at the same time, a lot of the reasons this is happening, it's not to protect children. It's to basically appease Washington's lobbyists in Hollywood to get rid of the mass entertainment that was YouTube, because we, not Amber and myself particularly, but YouTubers in general, have been putting a vice on Hollywood for over 10 years.
It's true.
So
kids would rather watch, instead of watching...
They would rather watch affordable entertainment than expensive entertainment.
I mean, and also just think of it, if you think about it, like, say they make a show for kids, kids don't enjoy watching that. They watch PewDiePie being weird on his channel, and they enjoy that. Because, actually, PewDiePie interacts with his audience.
Yep.
That's the complete
difference.
That's the huge difference between YouTube and...
YouTube is an interactive experience.
YouTube and Hollywood is that you don't get to interact with the Avengers when you're watching it. So...
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know if I'm going to make a video on this. Abdallah's video is wrong. Abdallah, he believes that the content of what you're doing is how this law is going to work. It's not the content, it's what you look at. So the fact that YouTube has thrown everybody under the bus and said, you know, only you can tell if your stuff is child-friendly or not. And what they didn't come out and say, because they're legally not supposed to, is it's the brands that you look at. Lego, Marvel, Star Wars, Turtles, Sailor Moon, Power Rangers, Fortnite, Minecraft, Roblox. Just the list goes on and on and on and on and on. And they're saying that it's not that you can't cover these, but you need to label your channel for kids, which for a YouTuber, which we're trying to fight in Washington that they don't understand, is when you do that, say you're making $5,000 a month. Let's be theoretical. For all the things you do, you make $5,000 a month. You click the 4 kids option on your channel, you're now making $500 a month. That's the big change.
Now, how can you possibly...
Does that make sense?
Especially with your, you know, with your internet bill alone being $300 to $400 a month for uploading videos.
See how terrifying that is?
How are you gonna keep running your business? It's over.
And most of those things that I've just labeled, like Power Rangers, Star Wars, Batman, Marvel, what the government doesn't understand about these 50 different brands is not all 50 of these brands are strictly for kids anymore. There is an adult market, and there's been an adult market for over 30 years. But they don't know that because they're stupid.
Yeah, we'll just keep playing the game because we got a lot of nice comments in there, and I understand you guys talking about coming together and standing up for it, and, you know, we'll probably try to make some videos about it and such, but seriously, to me, I'm just completely
it just happened today, guys, so that's why, you know, it's interesting that the kitchen incident happened the same day as we got this information back. It feels like a spiritual attack, personally.
That song, I wrote it years ago. touch an object and witness events connected to it. You feel its history.
It's an echo in the Force from the object.
Not many Jedi have that skill.
Because it didn't exist before Disney.
I was once a Jedi, but not anymore.
Not your fault.
Do I know you?
No. But I knew your master, Jaro Tapal. He was a true guardian of the Republic.
He was a hero. Listen. Something happened to me during the Purge. I survived, but my connection to the Force is damaged. When I meditate, if I let my guard down, I lose control. And it's like I'm back in that moment when...
You survived, Cal. And you're not alone. Not anymore.
We're coming up on our destination.
This is Pagano. A Jedi I knew discovered it before the Purge. You won't find it on any maps.
The Empire doesn't know this place exists?
No.
So, what's the plan? We hide out here?
We're done hiding, Cal. See that structure over there? I believe that vault holds the key to rebuilding the Jedi Order. But it requires someone strong in the Force to pass its test.
And since you're not a Jedi anymore, that's why you need me.
I know you don't trust me. And I'm not really sure I trust you. But we have a common enemy. And a common cause. I'll share more of my plan after you reach the vault. But, until then, there's someone here I think you should meet. May the Force be with you.
The Force will be with you always.
Not in this platforming level. Alright, so remember all that action that just happened, guys and gals? Well, guess what? Say goodbye to that.
Guess I'm looking for a Jedi then. But if there's already one here, why does Seer need me?
And Cal's gonna talk to himself a lot. So this is a exploration level. And it's not one of my favorites. When people talk about... I haven't read a lot of reviews for this game yet, but... this changes up how the game was played. So you were just in this really cool action-oriented thing. You were on a train doing all this fun stuff. Now, you have to go through this level and try to find that Jedi that's in that tower. And even though that tower looks like it's really close, you're going to be going through catacombs, you're going to be searching through things. The cool thing that we were able to do in this level is we were able to change our lightsaber. If you pre-ordered this game, you can get Luke's lightsaber and I think Obi-Wan's lightsaber, something like that, instead of his makeshift Padawan lightsaber that you can see on his hilt right there. But there's no... See, what I would do, if I was the people that made this Star Wars game, is I would have included, like, some skin DLC, like Luke Skywalker's Return of the Jedi costume, or, you know, maybe Jedi robes from the old days, but they don't do that. He's just... This is his attire for most of the game. Just basic, I don't know, scrubbiness.
I don't know.
I mean, I didn't want to talk about it, but I mean, I'm probably gonna have to make a longer video to explain to people like how wrong they are. And there's one other YouTuber who does like toy reviews who just did a video the other day.
Oh yeah, you guys,
This looks like a safe place to meditate. Just need to focus my mind.
They're done.
They lost their businesses overnight.
Yep. But the government isn't satisfied with that. They're like, well, unboxings, that's a given. Those are toys. But what we're really talking about, which YouTube didn't clarify, is we're not talking about, when we mean child attractive, we're talking about child brands. And they never said that before. That was never interpreted that way.
Well,
before it was interpreted, oh, content. My content needs to change.
may I just say that the businesses in 2016, when we first went through hard times, many of the businesses that were in trouble back then, like Activision with Skylanders, Disney Infinity, etc. A lot of game businesses that created kids games actually went out of business back then because of government regulations on small businesses and also on the same kind of thing. And that went through, those game companies died silently. Nobody protested that.
Well, yeah, because
and when they died, the YouTubers that covered those games also lost business, which was us, which is why we're...
This all... What people don't understand, I mean, they can blame the Orange Man or whatever now, but this was a bill that Obama passed back in 2013. He ratified it.
This bill has been trying to be passed in different forms for over 10 years.
It was fine in 1998 and 2000, 2003, 2006. In 2013, the current administration changed the bill again. And in all honesty, like the current administration doesn't want to change the bill because it's one of the policies they actually like, because they're like, oh yeah, we're saving children and whatever.
I'm going to tell you right now, one thing that Democrats and Republicans can agree on is that gamers are evil and they need to go. I mean, they both agree on that. So it's both of their fault, really.
BD1. I'm Cal. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm looking for someone. No, not you. I'm searching for a Jedi, I think. Hold on. You know the Jedi? What do you know? Wait, hold on.
Yeah, so I mean...
Did you just slice that? Thanks.
If there are people watching this, like, we're not... That doesn't mean Amber and I are going to start, like, dropping F-bombs and, you know, being very crass with our language or... you know, throw in lots of innuendo jokes or anything like that. We're still, no matter what game we cover, even if it's like T or heavy T rating, like you're gonna get the same commentary that you come to love. It has nothing to do with how we make our content. It has to do with what content we're showing. Does that make sense?
Which is the opposite of what other YouTubers are saying.
It's very opposite of what other people have been saying. I mean, I couldn't even believe it. I was like, well, what are you talking about? When I was texting our lawyer, and he was like, well, I mean, in the current language of how this is, Luke, and he says, the reason why I'm getting hold of you and Amber is because you look at child properties. And I was like, what are you talking about? And then, you know, they went through the whole thing, and this is how the legal people see things. You know, they're so out of touch. You know, and basically because they're so out of touch, that's how they're going to interpret the law, is child brands. And that list is going to make them do that.
Because they've never taken the time to have fun or embrace...
Of course not. They're all miserable.
They've never embraced any kind of fun pop culture thing ever.
Nope.
There's no chance in a million that they'll ever understand that adults enjoy those kind of properties.
And they don't understand that a lot of the reason why most of these companies are still around, like Star Wars, you know that, like, even when they brought back The Force Awakens, before then, they were not like a top-selling child brand anymore. What kept Star Wars afloat before Disney bought them was the older demographic. If it wasn't for us, like people my age and people in their 40s and their 50s and their 20s, Star Wars would have been dead a long time ago. And even really now, like, they can make, like, Disney's... It's kind of Disney's fault, though, that Star Wars is even considered, like, a kid brand, is because Disney made, like, a new Star Wars cartoon show that's targeted to preschoolers and all this other stuff. So the U.S. government sees this stuff, and they're like, oh, okay, so Star Wars is kids. It's like all the merchandise is very, like, cutesy and whatever. That's for kids, and it's like, no, that's just one audience. And also, right now, I just decapitated that monster.
No,
you know?
No, you can't fight the SSI. We've tried. It doesn't.
No, you can't do anything.
We've tried. We're in even greater debt than you. Because we're still trying to pay our lawyer back from 5 years ago when he tried to help us The only thing our
Yeah,
lawyer...
he did me a favor by looking at this because, and then afterwards he told me, he says, just letting you know, you still have a balance with our company of $1,500. But he says, you know, because I'm a Christian and all this other stuff, I was very concerned when I heard about these new FTC regulations. And I know that you and Amber work very hard, so there's no charge for me looking into this aspect. But
the lawyer, what he did was prevent Luke from going to jail. Because he was getting threatened with jail for owing money to the U.S. government that he really doesn't owe. I could go into it, but I really don't. But the amount of money that we owe is astronomical, and I personally do believe that the reason why the U.S. government did charge us the amount of money that they did was because we donated to charities that may or may not have been related to like
religious organizations,
charities that were helping people with food, etc. And we donated like a large amount of our income that we got to those charities, and they did not like that. And I believe that is the reason why they basically took us out. The U.S. government decided that they would tell us we owe a tremendous amount, an astronomical amount of money that is impossible. We will never, in their words, we will never pay it back. Even Luke's kids will have to pay it back.
Yeah, that's pretty much how they explained it to me. And also they told me if there's a drop in income, I have to go to court and plead for the mercy of the court, or I will go to jail. So say that, I'm not going to tell you guys how much I make a month, but my rent is $1,200 a month. So if there's a significant drop in my income and I can't pay what I owe SSI and the U.S. government, I'm going to jail. And there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah,
so...
Well,
I hear you, but there's something over here I want to explore.
And the fact that you have breathing issues and...
Oh, I would die in prison.
All kinds of other health issues to the point where you can barely function. I can't imagine you lasting more than 2 days in jail, to be honest.
Of course, as soon as I'm cut off from my medicine, I'll have an aneurysm.
Doesn't look safe.
Like, and they don't, you know...
back at the scrapyard.
It's all kinds of stuff. This is horrible. So I mean, I've got about 50 days.
I think you have to... there we
to figure out like what I'm gonna do and try to grow audience or beg people for money or whatever. I don't know.
The only thing that I have done is I've talked to my school, and they did say they might be able to help us with government housing if we need it. But I don't know. I didn't really ask them because we don't have any credit because the U.S. government is siphoning our income to the point where...
See, that's not kid-friendly.
Yeah.
That's decapitation.
They kept siphoning our income to the point where, we weren't able to pay our actual bills. So then we had to take out credit cards to actually pay our actual rent because the government was taking all of our money. So... I mean, we already have the government taking 90% of our money
something like that. But they're not willing to negotiate anymore. So the lawyer that I have, he used the last bit of mercy, and even though our income dropped back in 2016, and sometimes we talk about how stressed we are, and people are like, "Oh, you don't need to worry about money. You probably make enough to live." It's like, I barely make enough right now to pay off my bills, and...
We don't even have lights in our basement.
Whoever lived here used
storage.
They kept food and supplies.
Nope. There's all kinds of stuff. Like, right now we're starving because we have to pay SSI, very soon.
I was explaining on my stream where I kind of ranted a lot, but I've been wearing the same contacts that were supposed to last 3 months for 4 years.
Yep, and I've had the same glasses for, probably 12 or 15 years.
That was pretty brave. You okay?
It's not pretty.
But, I mean, before, on this channel and other things, we couldn't tell people what was going on because that wasn't the demographic.
Okay.
And I'm sorry for dumping on you guys. This bomb literally exploded in my lap, around 2 o'clock today.
I mean, declaring bankruptcy is a possibility, but...
This should help you get
you can't declare bankruptcy for past debt to the U.S. government.
Oh, never mind then. You can't.
You can't.
Okay.
Then why was the government so scared when you threatened to declare bankruptcy?
Because they want their money. They don't want me to go to jail. They want me to pay money.
The vault. Yeah, that's where I was headed to. Okay. Well.
No, you guys
first
don't
we
have
gotta
to
figure out a way out of this place.
Otherwise, you guys will be. The government doesn't like us. We did something they didn't like, so they're trying to kill us.
That's a little small for me.
So,
Don't worry, I'll find my own way out.
if you guys end up donating all your money, then all your money will be siphoned into the government too. So, I mean, we're just grateful for the amount of money we have. Like, people donate so we can survive. But you guys should live your hopes and dreams and save your money because, you know, just don't make the U.S. government mad because they're very scary people and
they're not good people. No.
They're not like I used to be a fan of Captain America, but after 2016 I'm not because I just see it like I don't see my government as being there to help me.
Nope.
They haven't. Yeah. They don't care that my husband is disabled, and they don't care what happens if they make him so sick that he, you know.
I already am so sick. I don't know. Somebody even said, like, oh, I didn't know you're disabled. It's like I have a traumatic brain injury. I'm not.
That's one of many.
I was listed under disability, U.S. disability, for a very, very long time. And I never really talked about it because the government had written me off as a person that they just wanted to roll over and die because I can't work in the private sector. I can't contribute to society. I'm broken. Their own words. I found this really nice lady in Boston who was able to get me under disability when I was literally unable to get jobs because I would leave in an ambulance because I would just stop breathing and, you know, they'd have to come in and hook me up to machine to breathe again. When I was at work or when I tried to work. And eventually they said, okay, you know, this isn't working out, so you're not allowed to work anymore. And that was it. They also told me that I was supposed to get assisted living and all this other stuff, and my life was over. Then YouTube came around. I got on YouTube, and I didn't have a full recovery. I'm still on medicine so I can, quote, function. But it gives me hope. They want to take away my hope, and they want to call me a villain.
They want to take away.
They want to call me a child predator.
I think they want to take away everyone's hope.
Yeah, I know, but I still see this as like they're targeting specifically me because the Trouble channel is this one, according to the 01 channel should be fine as long as we label most of those old kid videos that we did back in the day. They're not making any income anyway, so labeling them for kids isn't going to impact that channel. But that channel only makes enough for rent. And if they're able to get past that gray area for Batman, then I'm done. Because if I have to label the Batman videos as for kids, then it's over. Like, there is no coming back.
Well, like I was saying, and nobody agreed with me, that they wanted to get rid of the whole demon.
That was funny the first time we did
I'm alright.
It worked. I know. Like I said, I didn't want to talk about this a lot, guys, but sometimes when life happens, you just have to talk about it.
Full of surprises.
And it just imploded in my lap. 2 o'clock today. Because I had a plan. I had spoken to YouTube, and they said, your channel is going to be, come January, Kwings Let's Plays is going to be 35 to 40% impacted.
Okay.
Meaning, things are going to be hard for you guys, but the streaming, and since we're not going to label your channel completely for kids, you'll be able to stream. You'll be able to still have super chats. You'll be able to have memberships.
Never known a forgetful droid.
But
can't argue with that.
You know, everything changed.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the super chat. Cosmic Reader, thank you very much for the super chat. Says, I'm sure that Cap can agree that the government stinks. Yeah, they definitely do stink at this point. Thank you very much for the super chat, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that, you guys.
That's where we need to go. I can feel it.
Wow, thank you so much for the super chat, Clockwork Alex. Wow, $25. Oh my gosh. Clockwork Alex says, been a fan since 2011. I hope this helps a bit and love you guys.
We love you guys too. I mean,
it's too so much.
It's nobody's fault.
Thank you so much, Clockwork Alex.
This is, ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens when you get the U.S. government involved with, you know, businesses that they shouldn't be pestering. It's not. What I'm terrified about all of this is, yes, I'm horrified of going to jail, but I'm also horrified of them, like, messing with capitalism this way. telling parents how to raise their kids and what to do, that's socialism. That's communism. That's not the American dream.
That's what I was kind of ranting about
This
before.
is the parents' responsibility to monitor their children. It's not the U.S. government's. It should not be their job to parent other people's kids. That is horrifying. The implications and the problems that can lead into, you know? And that's something that's actually being addressed by, like, a lot of Christian organizations fighting for the internet's behalf right now that nobody's talking about. There are very big, like, Christian lawyers that are fighting the FTC over the free speech implications of this, but everybody else is just kind of rolling over, aside from, I believe there's about 16 YouTubers talking to the FTC right now. That's it.
You know, what I was trying to say before was, like basically,
my head.
When you and I were on YouTube a long time ago.
We've been on YouTube a very long time.
Remember, like, when we used to say in our chat, you know, there was so much profanity on YouTube back in the day.
Still is.
I mean, there was so much.
Whoops.
I mean, now there's more family-friendly channels, but back then there weren't anyone.
No, there wasn't.
So, and everyone was just F-bombing every 2 seconds in every video.
Whoops.
So, when we had our chat and we said we would like this to be, you know, family-friendly for everybody, so everybody can watch and chat in case there's grandmothers or whatever. Oh my gosh, the backlash we got from wanting to, quote, as they said, censor our chat. They said we were getting rid of their amendment rights and stuff by telling them what they could say on our channel. But in reality,
Where are you going?
we actually, every single person, like, has their own right to do what they want on their own website or channel. Like, that's a freedom that you have. It's not like you're not really censoring someone, but when you ask, you know, like, and we and parents and stuff outcried back then for so many years, like, hey, YouTube, you need to censor, you know, yourselves. You need to make sure that, you know, my kids aren't watching bad stuff. There needs to be some kind of censorship option. I need to know what my kid is watching. YouTube and the YouTubers online would always say, it's not our problem, we're not going to censor it. You know, they were asked to have a censorship thing for years, or some kind of rating system.
They were asked to have a rating system, but the YouTubers didn't do it because they'd lose money.
They refused. They refused again and again and again. And then suddenly, and this is what I was kind of like talking about when I was ranting with people, and I apologize for ranting on Twitch, and that's why I'm not on Twitch for a while, because I really went overboard. I'm sorry, but I was really upset. But basically, yes, I cried on a Twitch stream, I'm sorry. But basically what I was trying to say was that, like, I think what I said at one point on one of my streams was that, yeah, so nobody knows what kids are supposed to watch, everything is chaotic, so then you ask the government for help. I said it's like asking Emperor Palpatine for help when you have a problem.
Yeah, that's the easiest way to put it in Star Wars terms.
That's what I was saying. Like, you ask Emperor Palpatine for help. Do you really think he's going to help you? Or do you think he's going to turn the situation around and turn it to his advantage? And that's what the government did. They saw that there was a problem on YouTube. That there were people that didn't know what they were doing. And now they're like, oh, I'll help you out. And they just took everyone down. So, you know, you shouldn't really... It would have been better if YouTube had solved it themselves first. And that's what I'm kind of disappointed.
Yeah, so I mean, what you guys don't have to worry about is we're not going to get a massive fine because we're going to have to label half our content for kids, but there are going to be features that are going to be missing on this channel. Super chats are going to disappear. If we are able to live stream on YouTube still, if we do, then donations will have to go through our PayPal, or they'll have to go through Streamlabs because they will be removed from YouTube.
Wow, oh my gosh, Luke. Luke, did you see the super chat?
That is a $25 to $50 super chat.
Oh, okay.
Because it says SEK, that's from a foreign country.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much for the super chat. Zero Blade. Oh my gosh. Thank you guys both for the really generous super chats. Oh my gosh.
Ouch.
Thank you guys so much. It says, I know it ain't much, but I love you guys, so here you go. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
And if you guys, I don't want to do this, I really don't, but if you want to help support Kwings Let's Plays, the 195 to 200 of you guys watching that really like our channel, talk to your parents, you know, talk to yourselves about supporting us over on Patreon. The U.S. government cannot interfere with Patreon. Patreon is a completely different business that you are basically supporting the creator without the games that we play. You're supporting our personality. You're supporting what we do. If it's possible, I'm just going to give you guys a little hope, okay? If it is possible to get the Patreon up to $1,500 a month, then we can continue to pay our rent, and we continue to pay the government the $574 a month that I owe them, and the SSI that I owe them about $350 to $1,500 a month, depending on what's going on. If I'm able to do those, I can negotiate with our cable company. I can negotiate with some other stuff. I cannot negotiate with the U.S. government. I had a lawyer for that. We already did negotiate it, because before I used to have to pay them $5,000 a month. They dropped it down to $1,500, and then they dropped it down to $574 a month. And this is someone who's disabled. So...
Yeah, so, thank you guys so much for the really generous donations, and I really like what Ruga said, which is that if they end up taking away his membership, then he'll just increase it on Patreon, which is very kind. And
I wish I could give you guys a link to the Patreon, but it's in the description somewhere.
I could probably put a link there.
But
if
I mean,
you guys ever get your membership taken away, and if you're... And also he said, and by the way, I don't have to ask my parents because I'm an adult. So yeah, I mean, like we're talking to kids, but also we have so many adults that watch us.
We have an audience for everyone. The thing is, I really wish that YouTube would actually go, and I know they can't clarify because they're trying to make themselves what's the word am I looking for? When you try to remove yourself from a situation. Like
their hands from
they have basically put the creators under the bus and put all of the fees and all the stuff that's going to happen is directly involved with the creators now.
That's the first thing I thought of, is why can we not have some kind of YouTube insurance program where if you're a nurse and you accidentally inject someone with the wrong thing, you have insurance as a nurse, where you don't get sued for $60 million.
So they don't.
So I'm saying, why do we not have an insurance? We need a YouTube insurance. We cannot possibly pay that fee.
No, of course you can't. And they're not expecting to. They're basically trying to ruin your business because they know you can't pay that fee.
That's what they're asking you to back out, saying like they're threatening.
They're threatening, and they're closing your channel down, and that they're making you. Also, if you can't sign it. One of the freaky things I've heard is you have to sign, if you're unable to pay the fee, then you have to sign some type of agreement that you can never create that content again.
Oh my gosh! What? That seems so... It does feel like they're Order 66ing everyone.
Mm-hmm. And apparently that's not illegal for them to do that because they're the Federal Trade Commission.
They're like saying you'll never practice Jedi powers again.
You'll never be able to pay us back, so we own this. We own this content. We own this stuff.
Well, you know what? You know what that really sounds like? Maker Studios.
It sounds like a fascist
It sounds like
government.
a Maker Studios contract, because that sounds like the contract we had from Maker Studios, where they almost made us sign that.
So say Amber and I say I was able to get most of the channel taken care of, like, because it's going to take several months to make the channel for kids anyway. Because, like, I'm going to have to go by video basis, or if we're only making $500 a month, we're done. We won't be able to pay rent. We have nowhere to move. Everything's over.
Yeah, that's what the guy from, the guy with the biggest family-friendly channel in the Middle East, the guy who does puppets with his family, he was saying, do you not understand that if you take 90% of my income, I will no longer exist because I will not be able to continue to run my business anymore. And he just kept saying it, and then nobody was listening to him, and then he was like, I can't stay on Twitter, or I can't talk to these people anymore, because he said no one is listening to me. He's like, I feel so depressed, and then all these people...
It is depressing.
Then people were responding to him like, oh, don't be dramatic. It's like, he's trying to explain he will no longer exist, but no one is listening to him.
Right. And I have it on good authority that a lot of YouTubers aren't even going to talk about this. A lot of them, like Game Grumps, the Completionists, all these people are being quiet. Either they have a deal that they have worked out because they also use child-targeted brands, or they're just not, they're thinking, I just need to swear, or I just need to do this. and I'll be fine. It has nothing to do with that. Like, everybody has been misled. YouTube has misled you, and if you want to find out more, you can go to FTC's website, and you can look up videos where they recently had a Q&A where they said, oh, we're going after... We believe child targeted is the brands that people are covering. It doesn't matter, you know, what happened with Elsagate. It doesn't matter what happened with this. It doesn't matter if people are swearing or attracting kids. What matters is, to us, is that they are using child's properties to become rich and famous, is what they said. Which they're wrong.
Actually, you're not using them. You're actually promoting the properties.
They don't understand
that. Was the thing, is when they actually took away... Remember, they said, oh no, PewDiePie and other YouTubers are becoming famous off of games. Remember, they took off... They didn't release the games at December anymore. Remember that 4 years ago?
Yep.
Guess what happened to all those game companies after a year?
There were a lot of game
YouTubers
companies
not promoting them.
They went out of business. Yep.
Without the YouTubers promoting the game companies actually died. So it shows that we are not just getting rich off of the games. We are literally creating a community and sharing the games and explaining the games to customers.
Yep.
It's a symbiotic relationship. It has nothing to do with getting rich off of somebody else.
No.
It actually is a hard job, actually, to be honest. I mean, you have to, like, have your thumb on the pulse of what's going on every single day, and then, you know, cover that.
What you guys can do is you need to go over to the FTC website, and you have to basically explain to them, like, how this is going to impact people, because I guarantee you, no matter how much you talk to Gerard or Game Grumps or any of those people, they are not going to come out in support of this. They're trying to think that this only affects family-friendly channels. And the way that YouTube has explained this, they said that gaming originally, you know, was going to be okay. Like, there were going to be parts of gaming that was going to be okay. But until this is ratified, which politicians do not want, they do not want the FTC bill ratified because they are scaring parents and calling them on the phone and telling them, beware of the lobbyist YouTubers because they are trying to endanger your child by getting ads on them and all this other stuff. You know, they're scaring people that this has to do with watch time for children and privacy, and has nothing to do with that. It has to do with people who've created businesses looking at brands that the U.S. government deems as for kids.
Well,
and not getting a cut of that money.
Thank you so much for the super chat, Han Solo. Really appreciate that. Wow, $20. Oh my gosh, you guys are so generous tonight, and we really appreciate that. Every little bit helps, and I mean every lot. I mean, you guys have been extremely generous, and I don't even know what to say.
What you guys are doing with those super chats right now, you are basically going to be able to help us to pay for our rent a couple months in advance, because come January, I don't want to scare people, but it's going to be very bad.
Ed ADMG7 had a great comment. He said, Kwings Let's Plays remind viewers that it's okay to try to donate to the smaller tiers because it's more stable for the donator and you.
Exactly. Yes, it is.
Yeah, if you guys can even donate like $1 a month or like up to $3 or $5 a month, we're trying to get more stuff over there on Patreon. We've been struggling to just get our videos up online and deal with all this other stuff, but we're trying to get more stuff over there on Patreon for you guys. But just, you know, like, the more of you guys that get over on Patreon, even on the $1 or $3 tier, it will really help us to be able to have a little bit more spare time and free time to actually get more content over there on Patreon. So I really appreciate that.
Try again.
It's difficult, Master.
Thank you guys so much,
Yes,
and thanks
the
for
path
listening
is
to us.
difficult.
I mean, we are just...
It may seem impossible, but with persistence and the Force
yeah,
as your
this is a
ally,
lot.
you
I
will
mean,
overcome
I have it
any
retweeted on
You will
my
master any path.
Twitter. I mean, I've been tweeting about it for
Do what you must to
forever.
reach me.
What you want to go is to J House Vlogs Twitter. He's the lawyer who's been fighting this, and if it wasn't for him, we would already be gone. Because he went to Washington. Actually, not we, but everyone.
He was J House is a really great guy. I haven't talked to him very much, but
He went to Washington and begged for them to give us time to get signatures.
He is the only one, and now Jay has like so many problems because all these bigger YouTubers that are getting involved now, they're basically going down to tell the FTC what's what, and you can't. If they want people to outrage and cause a problem and threaten the FTC so that they can even tighten the noose tighter.
Yeah, they want to show that
gamers are unstable. Yes.
So it's much better to write a well thought out comment,
I did it.
or if someone is going to Washington, it's better for them to act
remembering old tricks,
or just calm. Let's say don't act emotional when you talk to them. Because they are evil, but you can't let them know that you see that they're evil. Of course people are going to be angry talking to them.
BD1, over here.
You basically have to use like Jedi mind tricks against them, you know, because they are a threat. They could order 66 you, or in basically my mind, they are executing people in a sense.
Well, I mean, say people, I mean, I'm not going to get really dark, but in a way,
you can show me that shortcut
some
again?
people could technically die.
Well, of course, because they'll lose everything. But yeah, I mean, we just if it the thing that's going to be so hard about this, guys, like, because our channel is going to survive because it's going to be labeled as for kids, but our income is going to disappear. So I never ever wanted to beg people for donations. I never wanted a Patreon. I never wanted any of these things, but you know, years ago, I probably should have been pushing this when we were able to reach most of our audience, because what people don't understand is YouTube has been testing this policy for years, like on the back end, and our channel has suffered tremendously because of it. We've had notifications mostly removed. We are only able to reach 1% of our audience since 2016. Like, they've already done things to see how a channel can survive if the hammer came down by the U.S. government and other things. So we have been guinea pigs without our knowledge.
I wonder if they picked you because you said so many times in your vlogs, I can't do anything but this for a job.
I mean, there was another YouTuber that also... There's been at least a couple hundred YouTube channels prior to this that have experienced a lot of weird problems that YouTube never came out and said, we're testing some stuff. And they never will. They're not going to admit it because, I mean, that could be like a serious lawsuit if you had evidence of them doing that. And they would lose that.
And
because
that would be nice
they're
to
tampering.
Get years of back pay.
Oh, of course. And the only reason we're in dire straits anyway, since I was looking over my channel to see what's kid-friendly and what isn't, I found an old video about when we had that $50,000 stolen from us from that YouTube network. Like, the year that happened, we were unable to pay our taxes, we were unable to pay our bills, and ever since then, we've been just, like, ruined financially because we can never pay back what we were never paid.
Yeah,
So that's why we're in worse straits.
We had $50,000 taken from us, but that's not the only thing that was ever taken from us.
Well, I know, but that's still, like, really, that hurt us the biggest.
What many people don't understand is that when Luke was in a huge car accident along, like, 2004 or whatever.
Yep.
Most of our YouTube money that we actually made at the beginning was to pay off that car accident.
The medical debt, yep.
We were over $100,000 in medical debt when we first started. We paid all of that off.
Yep.
We didn't get any help from my family or Luke's.
Nope.
That's why we worked ourselves to death to pay that off.
Yep.
And then we were finally, after years of paying all that medical debt off, near maybe 2013, something like that, we were finally about to actually start making money for a house or some kind of profit after paying debt for years. And then a company that we work for stole the money for 3 months.
YouTube just removed half of the people watching. There's only 9 people on there now. That's very interesting. Oh, never mind.
What do you mean?
Never mind.
What are you talking about?
I just saw in the corner of my eye that, like, the viewership dropped down to 9 people real quick. So
Weird.
It's fine now.
The person was never found? Oh, we got... What do you mean, like, No, I mean, they openly stole it. They told us we wouldn't get our money back. That's how networks work.
Well, no, they fled. I don't know if they were ever arrested or not.
I mean, they took money from... We were the biggest channel in that network, and they stole all the money from the network, so... And then they bought a Ferrari, I heard.
Yeah.
So they took months and months of pay that we had to take out.
And because networks were paid by YouTube and the money was already paid, YouTube said, okay, well, because we talked them. We didn't just go, YouTube, we'll just have to make it up. It's like, no, I went to California. I spoke to YouTube and I said, you know, we had all this money taken. Is there anything you can do to reimburse us? And they said, we already paid your network. This is out of our hands. This is why...
Yeah, YouTube doesn't...
YouTube didn't care.
They never do.
No.
That's why they call us... that's the funny thing is they say YouTubers are getting rich off blah blah blah.
Child brands.
Because you know how volatile it is to be a YouTuber? I mean, you can be robbed at any moment. Your network can decide not to pay you.
Yep.
Anything can happen.
Yep.
Your network can seize your say you make over 5,000 videos, your network can randomly seize all 5,000 and say that you'll never get your channel back ever, and now all those videos are theirs.
Yep.
Anything can happen. I mean, it's extremely stressful, but for people that need the money or people that want to help their families, yeah, they're willing to go through all that stress. But I think that's why, like, it's gonna be, of course they're gonna explain, like, oh, YouTubers are unstable, etc. Of course we are. We're people that needed, we're people that were in really bad straits. Do you think normal people would do this job? Like,
no way.
I wouldn't do this job if I didn't have to. Well, anyway, thank you so much for the super chat. JP609, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your generosity. $24 and praying for you both. Wish I could do more. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And you guys are really amazing. Thank you. Yeah, if you guys cannot promote your own channel, just because, like, when we go to other streams, we don't promote our channel there. It's just, like, common courtesy.
Unless
like,
we're doing a collab.
It also kind of hurts my feelings, to be honest. Like, unless, I mean, just because it's kind of like, okay, someone's just using me to, like, promote their channel, which maybe if I was, like, if I had 5 billion people, like, and I was a billionaire, and I was PewDiePie, and there were 5 billion people watching me, and I had no issues.
Standing up to that
like, maybe I wouldn't mind so much, but, like, I'm literally every day on this channel. It's a struggle just to get people to watch my own stuff. So I mean, when I go to other people's channels, I don't really promote my stuff there, no matter if they're bigger or smaller than me. And I would, you know, we actually had incidents where we had people that we asked to help many years ago help us, and all they did was promote their channel on ours or on our Twitter or Facebook, and it just kind of hurts when, you know. So, you know, I'm really thankful, you know, for people that just help us out of the goodness of their heart. And, you know, if you guys ever decide to go to somebody's channel that you really like on our stream, I have no problem with that. You guys can go to each other's channel. Just please don't, like, say, like, hey, everyone come to my stream after this, or don't watch this stuff, come watch me, or whatever, you know. So, I just, please don't do that. It's kind of mean.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, we're gonna do our best with what we can. I mean, it's not completely over yet, because I mean, there are some nice people in the FTC that are listening to J House Vlogs, and you know, but there are also people that you need to be careful of, like the ones who did the Q&A recently, because they're not nice people. They don't care.
Well, that's what I was really, I mean, when I was kind of in my weird rant, I was just remembering, like, you know, like, I watch a lot of history vlogs, or not vlogs, documentaries or whatever. So, you know, like, everyone talks about Friday the 13th, and, you know, like, that was the day that all the Templars got destroyed, the Templar Knights. there were really none of them after that day. And basically what happened was they made this whole, I can't remember what it was, but they had this false pretense. They told the Templars, like, hey, you guys, we're gonna, like, have this Templar thing. Everyone's, you know, we need all the Templars to come here for this really important thing, and we're gonna say thank you for all your hard work or something. And all of them came from all over the world or whatever, and came to this one spot, and then they just killed them all. So, like, that is what it feels like with this YouTuber thing. Like, it just feels like they're telling you, oh yeah, we just need everyone to be really calm and push this button, you know, and say you're kid friendly. And just so we, like, the way that she said it on the video, she was like, you need to push this button so that we can take care of you the right way. And I was just like, okay. Like, I was just thinking, like, this seems like some kind of weird sci-fi movie, like, if I've ever seen one. Like, yeah, we'll take care of you. Like, yeah, I don't know why, but I really don't trust you. Like, it feels like they're telling, like, the button is, like, a mandatory, like, this is that all these YouTubers are talking about this button. What button do I push, guys? Should I push that I'm kid-friendly or not? Like, all these people online are saying, what should I push? Well, I as soon as I saw this lady's video of it from the FTC or whatever, or whatever she is, the new head person at YouTube explaining the FTC, I said to myself, whatever she says, do the opposite of it. Well, I mean, there's your answer. That's what because she's lying.
Yeah, but I think I actually think that some of what they're saying is correct, but they're not. They just need to come out and say, because they know.
Yeah, they know everything that's going to happen.
They know that it's the stuff that people are playing.
They don't want
and the people they want them to think, okay, if I just swear or if I just add lewd content, gross thumbnails, darker images, and I try to do everything I can to not be kid friendly or whatever, I'll be fine. As long as the bill exists the way it is, it says kid attractive content. If you cover some of the brands I talked about in this video, you are hosed just as much as anybody else. It has to do with the stuff you're looking at. It doesn't have to do with what you are personally making your content. Because when that FTC intern, that wave of intern people, because these are going to be interns. These are going to be people in foreign countries that are going to be hired by the U.S. government to screen 23 million YouTube channels.
Well, maybe they could give those jobs to us, because YouTubers are going to need a job after they're really firing us, though, without firing us.
Well, they're not. Their argument is, we're not firing you. You're just doing the appropriate thing.
You're taking a 90% pay cut. How is that not firing you, though?
Right, I know.
That's like, it doesn't make any sense. It's insane. It's actually insanity.
It is insanity.
I mean, if you actually said to your employee, like, okay, Bill, you know, you've been making $1,200 at this job a week for the past 10 years. Well, I am sorry, but due to new regulations, you're going to be making $120 now. Yep. So here it is. I'm not firing you. I still want you to work here and feed your family, but you only get $120 now.
I'll check it out.
And it's like, and that's basically what they're doing to us. Like, what? I don't understand. Like, how am I gonna feed my family for $120? Like, what are you talking about? It's like, you're insane. Like, that's what they're doing, though. It's so weird. It's like insanity. So
I mean, I don't even. Amber's trying to get her baking job, but even that, I don't know.
The thing is, like, I will literally make $10 an hour. If that, and then to start. And last time I made $10 an hour at the grocery store, it actually took money away from this. But the whole reason I'm getting a baking job, to be honest, isn't so I can help. I know it won't help our income. It's an emergency thing, because I'm not gonna go into it, but say your grandmother has a place for you.
Mm-hmm.
I can't go there.
Okay,
that's why I have a baking job, so I can survive on my own, basically. To be honest.
But it's not. You granted enough about that. Or Twitch. Alright, so, guys, I'm going to show you about another 20 so minutes left of the game, because my headache is really starting to, cause me issues, and I'm going to need... No, I need to tell people... I mean, I can't just abandon my audience and be like, oh, the U.S. government says that basically I'm an outlaw now, so goodbye. It's like, I want to give people some heads up in advance about, like, how content's going to be changing, how we're going to mostly be looking at T-rated games. If we do look at an E-rated game, I'm going to be heavily pushing our Patreon or asking for memberships. I mean, if it's possible, I'm trying to negotiate with YouTube not to take away our playlists and not to do some of the other crazy things that they're doing, because, I mean, removing notifications is one thing, but stripping away people's playlists for series of, quote, kid-friendly content, that's going to be even more devastating, because even at, like, a 60 or 90% cut of income, if people are still able to find your videos, they're going to make it impossible to find your content that you've already made.
Here, I have a question, though.
If they remove the playlist.
They stopped promoting our Disney Infinity and all this other stuff in the search engine, like 4 years ago.
They stopped promoting 2,000 videos already, like, years ago.
I have a question about that.
Okay.
If they're taking away all our income anyway, then why can't they just promote the videos again? Because
I don't know.
maybe that would make 90 times more. And then maybe we could actually survive. I mean, if they promoted them, if they promoted the videos again, you know what I'm saying? Like, why can't they promote them? Why couldn't they go through a fine-tooth comb?
Don't fall behind
and see if we're making Anna or Elsa weird content, and if it's not weird, you know, I mean, I can only think of one weird video where we talked about something weird. That'd be the clown video from Twilight Princess.
Oh, that was tame.
Where we talked about wanting to end the clown
You all right, BD?
in the lake.
Well done.
Other than that, I can't think of anything.
You have passed the test I
Jedi.
left behind and gained access to the vault and this recording, one of many encrypted logs stored in the droid. I am Master Eno Cordova. I may not know your name, but I know your purpose. The fate of the Jedi Order lies in your hands. This place, this vault, is a sacred temple, built by a vanished civilization known as the Zepho. Meditating here, I was granted a premonition through the Force, a vision of doom. I have placed inside this vault a Jedi holocron containing a list of the names and locations of young Force sensitives throughout the galaxy. Ahead, you will find the inner chamber of the vault, but also another test. I can only trust this holocron to someone who has followed my path and understands. Seek out the hidden tombs of the three sages and learn to perceive the mysteries of the Force as the Zepho once did. In this droid, you will find everything you need to succeed on this journey. Go to the Zepho homeworld. There, you will find peace in the eye of the storm. Good luck, Jedi.
Wakanda
And
forever.
may the Force be with you.
I guess you were the someone I was supposed to meet. You know, I've been alone for a while now. Without any purpose, just hiding. There's no way to live. Not for a Jedi. Or a droid. Maybe Sierra was right. Maybe we're done hiding. Hey, you want to meet some, friends of mine?
I like the story for this, but yeah, I mean, again, I'm sorry for dumping on you guys and stuff like that. It's just kind of like, there was a lot of things that happened today that I don't know. I mean, it might be I'm just not very good with social etiquette after my car accident, but sometimes I just can't. I just can't like hide away from the world and pretend everything's gonna be okay. It's like,
Think I found what you wanted me to see.
you know, I don't know.
Sounds like you did. We'll be waiting.
Now we gotta make it all the way back to our spaceship. Whoa.
I mean, we're very good at saving money when we had money that, I mean, right now, I mean, like, if I have any extra money, it always goes to something else, like, you know, like, we have to wait, like, I've never had to do, we just have to wait, even if we're hungry, we have to wait for several weeks to get food, like, and we'll just eat whatever's in the house. It's not, I mean, yeah, it's not, we don't, I mean, if I have an extra dollar, I mean, I would get it, I would use it to get food.
I highly doubt, and I'm just explaining this to you guys and gals, if you were in debt, I'm highly doubtful that you have over $3,000 in bills a month. Your debt, even if you have a student loan, is maybe $1,000. Our debt that we owe, that we have to pay monthly on, is close to $3,500 a month. That is not what most people's debt is. You know?
That doesn't even begin to start with, like, business expenses and stuff.
No.
But it's funny that the U.S. government keeps calling us and being like, well, you don't really need your internet bill. And then they're like, where's the money that we need? And it's like, yeah, we do need to pay for internet because you're forcing us to pay this money off. But no, we had a tremendous amount saved, but then they took it all.
Yep.
They took everything, and then they demanded more, so... I mean, also, our savings accounts, they siphon, so we can't... You know, we can't really make a bank account, like, because they'll just find the bank account and take the money.
Most people, like, with this amount of stress, I mean, they would have self-deleted themselves years ago.
Right, and I even had to tell the guy at my school for my baking job, I said, it's a possibility the government will siphon 80% of the money I make from the job. And he was just looking at me like, and I was just like, well, I guess maybe I'll get 20% of it, but... I mean, really, driving to a work every day and then only making 20% of, I mean, just, it's, you know, it's insane. You know, we're obviously, you know.
It's just not ranting. I mean, we're devastated. We don't know what to do.
We've been devastated for years, though.
Yeah, we just kind of hid it.
We've just been hit. The reality is that, like I said, I've been trying to explain. They kept taking 90%, more. They cut our income in half, and they cut it in a fourth of what we were making. Expected us to work 4 times as harder for 1/4. Then they wanted us to work 8 times as harder for, and then we can't even get the equipment we need or anything like that. It's making bricks without straw, basically. So I mean, it's insane.
My friend. It appears the Zepho had some interest in Dathomir. Strange. For such a peaceful culture to have any sort of fascination with a place so dark.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not gonna go into every single suggestion you guys have, because probably we already tried that like 6 years ago or something, because we've been struggling with, you know, YouTube, and this isn't the first time our income has been siphoned.
We've been struggling, guys, since 2015.
We actually, before 2012, we were actually working for a network that was taking our income. So that was interesting.
So I mean, we've basically kept things bottled inside away from you guys since probably the miscarriage. Like, I mean, it's just there's a lot of stuff that Amber and I don't normally bring online, and if I didn't have a way to express myself tonight, I probably would go insane because I'd lose all hope. I don't even know how to formulate a plan for this because it doesn't feel like there is anything I can do.
I think the worst, I mean, I'm not going to go into it, but the worst thing for me is that we don't really have, like, there's not like a happy environment of a safe place of people that are willing to help us, you know, set up our computer and etc. etc. It's not like that. You know, last time Luke and I supposedly went somewhere where people, quote, wanted to help us, they refused to let me on the computer. You know, I had to, there would be no, we would not be allowed, there is no supportive environment that we can
Don't
go
fall behind
to
BD1.
that would allow this to continue, so it would be over, because we were the only ones making it happen. So, that's a real thing that I think is going to be really, I think that people are not really addressing with YouTube in general. There are so many YouTubers out there that have said, you know, my friends and family never understood me, and I defied everything they did, and I went and I created a life for myself on YouTube. I created a home, etc. You know, what, I mean, not only the financial implications, but if you think about it, the amount of people that did not fit into society, that created a life for themselves on YouTube, what is going to happen when they have to go back and beg those family or friends for help who never believed in them anyway?
Mm-hmm.
That is, I think, going to be the most, that's going to be the thing that you never, that's going to be the pain that you're never going to actually hear. People are literally going to have to beg the people that said you'll never amount to anything for help. And I'm not doing that. I think a box would be better than that. I'm not doing that. There's no way. I'm not doing that.
I don't think
you know, you get a little taste of freedom and what it feels like to be treated the way you're supposed to. You can't go back to that. No way.
Oh, hi there.
But I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people that you know, been misunderstood, and you didn't really have a place to go home, and YouTube was their home. So,
you didn't do anything wrong. I mean, it's just, I mean, basically we landed on a loaded grenade today, and you know, this is just kind of, I mean, it won't come out in our other content. I mean, if I have to make a video about this, I will, but I never wanted to. I wanted to. The thing is, I'm no longer going to be self-sufficient, because there's no way that, and I can already tell you what's going to happen when the income drops and I get the call being like, well, you know, what's going on? Why aren't you able to do this? And it'd be like, well, your regulations in Washington destroyed my job.
They were the ones that did it.
You did this. And you still expect me to be able to pay what I owe you? It's impossible, because I never will. I was doing everything I could, and then you ruined
Pass the
it.
test.
So you knew about BD1?
Come on board. We'll talk inside.
Oh, BD1, this is Grease. Hey, Grease.
What is that? Get off my sofa! Get off my sofa! Don't get out of there! Get out!
That is BD1. He's with us.
I don't care who he's with. Do you have any idea how hard it is to get oil stains out of petroleum fabric?
Not really.
Oh, I hope you found something better out there than this droid.
Oh, calm down, Breeze. He did. Tell us, Cal.
The vault was built by an ancient civilization called the Zepho. A Jedi named Eno Cordova hid something inside of it.
What did he hide inside?
A holocron from the archives. It contains a list of Force-sensitive children.
The next generation of Jedi. I knew it! Ah, Cordova, you old fool.
You knew him?
Yes. A long time ago. I was his apprentice. Cordova was a loner. That little droid and I are probably the only ones that know about Pagano.
Hold on, wait a minute. A hollow what?
A holocron. It stores information, but only accessible to Jedi. Hang on, I think I have one around here. Use the Force.
This is Master Obi-Wan Kenobi. I regret to report that both our Jedi Order and the Republic have fallen.
With that list of Force sensitives, we could rebuild the Jedi Order and defeat the Empire.
Okay, no problem. Let's get it.
Well, except the holocron is hidden deep inside the vault, and to get it, we have to follow Cordova's path. He mentioned something about the planet Dathomir and a Zepho homeworld.
All right, well, where are we going? Now, I'm just asking because I was thinking of maybe making some food.
Look, before we do anything, I need to know something. How come you're no longer a Jedi?
I had an experience that changed my perspective. So I cut myself off from the Force.
But you still want to rebuild the Order.
I believe that rebuilding the Order is the best chance we have against the Empire. What do you believe?
I believe I can't keep hiding from the Empire, so I don't really have a choice.
Cal, as long as you're alive, you will always have a choice. Are you with us?
We're in.
Dathomir or Zepho, it's your choice.
No, we're completely isolated, guys. Amber and I are in a different state from, quote, family and friends. We're halfway across the country from anyone that could help us, or even if they would help us, I don't know. It's something that, you know, we had been doing fine. If this hadn't happened, I mean. Don't do that, please.
Sorry.
That'll make it a million times worse. Okay?
Well, I'm not doing it.
All right. It just I mean, I have a migraine right now. Maybe I would be able to think more clearly, but the fact that I'm going to be honest with you guys, I was kind of banking on growing up my O1 channel starting in 2020 by just covering Batman all the time, but the fact that they're trying to include the U.S. government is trying to add Batman as a child property when it's not anymore. It hasn't been for 30-plus years. That's going to be a problem because even if I did a podcast not showing anything Batman and I just talked about Batman, I would have to label my video child-friendly, even though the topics I'm talking about are not for kids. And that also, what they're not telling you is that leads you open to a lawsuit. Is what if you have a parent come into your video, or a child, when YouTube promotes it as a kid-friendly video, and you're talking about all kinds of things that are related to your topic, but it's not something like a 3-year-old or preschooler should be hearing.
That's exactly
They're
it.
opening you up to a lawsuit from parents, too.
Like, say you explain, like, hey, my Batman content is not kid-friendly. Then they go, yes, it is. And then they take away 60 to 90% of your income on it. You're like, dope, man, they're jerks. Why did they do that? Then you try to do your job and talk about Batman
and then the parents come after you,
etc. Then the parents come after you. But aren't you immune to the $42,000 fine if they already took away 90% of your income then?
We don't know.
That's the huge question, but it's really not a huge question because for me, once 90% of my income is gone anyway, how am I even alive at that point? That's what I don't understand.
Alright, so I'll just show you guys how to change the lightsaber a little bit. So we're going to go with a classic lightsaber look. And then what you would do if you want to change the color, you can see you have different color options. This is Luke's green lightsaber.
Thank you for the really kind words, Garrett, and take care and God bless. And thank you guys for all everyone saying that we're in their thoughts and prayers. It's really, we have a lot of really kind comments from people, and people saying they're gonna try to help with the FTC thing. I really appreciate it, and it really means a lot. Thank you, Ethan, for the kind words, and everybody. And if you guys have to, I understand if it's late for some people that have to sleep.
Yeah, we're going to be wrapping up the stream soon, but I appreciate everybody watching, and I apologize for, you know, going over this topic. I never never, ever, ever wanted to mix politics or anything into this channel, because this channel, regardless of what the FTC believes, this is a place where everyone can come and watch and just have fun and enjoy geek culture. We cover geek culture. We cover Power Rangers. We have a partnership with Hasbro. We cover Transformers. We work with Nickelodeon on Ninja Turtles. And they do not pay us. We got paid based on how our channel's ads worked.
Yeah, that's the thing is, like, nobody's paying us to do it. We actually have to make relationships with companies to have permission to use their property.
So we could monetize, exactly.
Thank you so much for the super chat. Dave says, hope
Grace,
everything
what's
comes
this
together.
What?
You guys, well,
You've never seen a
this too,
terrarium
and
before?
Dave says,
Sure,
YouTube will
but
never
don't
be
they
the
usually
same
have plants in
again.
them?
Well,
Thank
I've
you
been a
again
bit
for the other
busy
super
hauling
chat, Dave.
you
I
around the
appreciate
galaxy.
that, and
But you
I'm
know, you could pay
hoping
me
that
back
it
with
will
some
be the
seeds.
same again. I mean,
Thought you
never
hated
know.
nature.
When it's out there, you betcha. But when it's behind a comfortably thick wall of embarring glass, that's perfection.
All right, I'll see if I can find any.
Sorry.
Yeah, John Doe says, you guys are always in my thoughts and prayers. And then Ethan says we're also in his thoughts and prayers. Thank you guys so much, and Ethan and John Doe and everybody. I appreciate that, you guys, and I can't thank you guys enough. You guys, I'm not gonna keep answering every question because, like, but you guys understand that the U.S. government is bigger than Capcom and
This whole journey
WB.
has put a lot of
Like,
wear and tear on
they
the man.
can't do anything about it.
Like it was
It's
perfect
not. It has
before.
nothing to do with the game
It was a
companies.
masterpiece, but
They
now,
can't. They can't say,
just don't
well,
be
it's
surprised
okay
if I
if the
send you a
humans
bill.
cover our stuff.
Someone's low on
The
funds.
government will still take
I mean,
90% of
sure,
our income. It
okay,
doesn't.
that may be part of it, but
It has nothing to do with the
were
game
you
companies.
rich growing up?
Wealth isn't
They
really a
can't do
priority
anything
for
about
Jedi.
it.
Yeah.
You know that the government, U.S. government, is like the number
My
one
crew and I would
business,
find
like
things to do for
in the
cheap.
United States, and
That's
like
where I learned how to play
Walmart is
Subway.
like the number
A
two.
game which requires
I
credits.
mean, that's ridiculous.
Strange choice.
When the founding
Well,
fathers
we were
created the
kids.
U.S. government,
We
they
bet all
didn't
kinds of
never
dumb
wanted it
things
to be a
from food
business,
to funny-shaped rocks.
and it's
Unfortunately,
a
things
business.
changed when we got older.
U.S. government is a
Funny-shaped
money-making
rocks
business.
didn't go so far anymore.
It is. I'm
The
just
galaxy
saying.
would be a better place if they did.
Time to land. Get up here.
Alright, so I'm just going to show you guys a little bit of the next planet, and then we're going to go, but I encourage you guys to, if you watch other YouTubers, I mean, you need to let them know what's coming, because, unfortunately, I mean, I don't want to say, I think the worst case scenario would be if your channel's destroyed, but I would hate to see people who, even I despise, YouTubers who burned me and ghosted me.
I wouldn't even wish it on the people
No.
because people's lives are being destroyed.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably laugh if their channels got erased, but I don't want anyone to go through millions of dollars of lawsuits.
There's a storm brewing down there. This might not be the best time to land.
Yeah, something strange. Those winds are interfering with our comms.
Hey, Cordova mentioned something about peace in the eye of the storm. Well, I can just make out a settlement in the middle of it.
Then we have to get there.
Copy that. Couple bumps ain't gonna kill you, kid. Unless the wind picks up. Can you tell that bucket of balls to keep his opinion to himself?
I'm sure everything's under control.
Of course, it's under control. It's just a little tricky. Okay, hold on. Huh. Perfect landing. Easy money, baby.
But I'm still getting a lot of interference on the comms. It's gonna take me a minute to get them back up.
I'll search for signs of Cordova in the meantime.
Good. I'll be in touch once I crack this. Cal, over here. You did good work on Bogano. The more information we gather on Cordova and the Zepho, the closer we'll get to stopping the Empire.
I've heard of ancient cultures, but don't know much about them.
I only knew that Cordova was obsessed with the Zepho, believing their teachings to be important. I, too, was intrigued by the mysteries of our galaxy. You better get moving. There's a lot to learn here. Good luck.
Yeah, so just to kind of wrap up, guys, about the FTC discussion, for the future of this channel, I know a lot of you guys don't like anime games, but anime they kind of see as adult, especially recently when YouTube started flagging certain content as for kids. Some very lewd and, we'll say, adult images that were hidden on YouTube have surfaced, and the FTC, I believe, is realizing that anime is not for kids. So anime games and properties should be, with exception to Sailor Moon, which was listed, Yokai Watch, and a couple others, like, aren't really safe. Dragon Ball might be kind of a... could be a gray area, or it might not be, because everybody in... just about... everybody who's about 38 years of old... or, sorry, anyone who's about 30 years of age and a little older remembers what Dragon Ball is and thinks cartoon. There are actually people in this United States that believe that anime is a cartoon. And it's not. It's animation, but it's not. So certain anime games probably will be able to cover. That means maybe we can start this channel over from scratch, but I don't know. I don't want to make any promises. I do want to promise you that we will be looking at T-rated games, but because Amber's probably going to have to work so we can eat, I don't know how often she's going to be on the channel. I'm going to have to stream quite a bit, more than I ever have, on Twitch and YouTube, like, the next couple months. I mean, if they don't remove our memberships and stuff, we can push memberships, but we don't know what YouTube is going to do, and even YouTube doesn't know what they're going to do.
The thing I'm upset is, like, some people are saying, this is freaky, like, everyone's going to be destroyed, and then there's some YouTubers like, well, it probably won't be that bad, nothing will happen. The thing is, why hasn't YouTube clarified what's actually happening? Because
they can't. They have an agreement.
Say there is a loophole and we are going to be spared. It would have been nice to know that, so we're not stressing ourselves with that crazy for what we're going to do. Because we actually have to change our entire lifestyle to have to literally compensate for the fact of losing our entire life.
Did you find something, BD1?
And, you know, based on, like, what the lawyer was talking about, based on what the law actually does, that is what is going to happen, is we're going to lose everything. But, you know, if there's some kind of loophole YouTube has, like, for instance, just, like, remember when there was that whole thing where YouTubers were doing the whole thing where they were using copyrighted music, they were using games, like cutscenes, they were using stuff that they technically weren't allowed to use. Technically, if the game companies wanted to, technically they could have fined them tremendous fines.
Oh, you're talking about the copyright
sued
stuff.
them, etc. But guess what the game companies did? They didn't sue the game. They didn't sue the YouTubers. They let it slide. As long as they were promoting their game, as long as they were getting word out about their game, they allowed them to continue to use their content. But technically, they didn't have to let them use the content. They could have fined them. But of course, we're talking about game companies here. Now we're actually talking about the U.S. government. Who's nicer, game companies or the U.S. government?
Game companies.
I've never heard of the U.S. government
I've
something
had more pleasant conversations with an angry Japanese company over an IP that we've covered, and coming to some type of agreement than I have negotiating with the U.S. government. It's like dealing with terrorists almost. I mean, they're just they don't want to give you any leeway.
They have nothing. They know that they hold all the cards.
They just want to punish everybody because they feel that YouTube has violated their stuff for, you know, since its inception. And that's not entirely true, because when YouTube started, it was not a for kids company. So I mean, they're wrong in that assumption. The reason why people say don't go to Twitch and all this other stuff, Twitch has already drawn the line in the sand, as has Dailymotion and a bunch of other video streaming sites, that they are not for kids. YouTube and Google made the mistake of saying, oh, we're aware of that kids, you know, under the age of 13 are using their parents' accounts to view channels. So now the FTC, when they go and they look at your age demographic and they see that you have a higher audience of 40 and 50-year-olds watching your movies, they go, aha, those are kids watching.
Oh my freaking gosh.
Yep. And this all came out recently, so everything that we have heard about this since September is wrong. And they want people to challenge them. They want people to be like, okay, you know, I'm going to be stubborn and I don't want to lose half my income, so I'm not going to market this. And they're going to be like, okay, well, we can either shut down your channel, but because you have so many violations, we're just going to sue you. And if you can't do it, you're going to jail. That's all it is.
They want to put everyone in jail.
They want people to comply. It's like the Borg or something, or the, like in Star Wars terms, it's like you're dealing with the Empire, more or less. Just like what happened at the beginning of this game. They pull over the train, and you know you're being pulled over, and you think you can work out some kind of agreement, and then they put a lightsaber through your chest. I mean, that's basically the easiest way to explain that. Why did they say this is an orange lightsaber? It looks like he has a Sith saber. That doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that... I mean, we've dealt with the U.S. government before in that, you know, Luke got money from SSI, and I paid every single penny back, but I paid it back to the IRS because the IRS asked for it.
Yep.
Then come to find out, in 2016, got a letter from the SSI, you owe us $72,000 by tomorrow, or you're going to jail.
Yep.
And I was like, well, we already paid every penny of this to you. So now we're paying all of that back. They threaten Luke with jail every day. Luke used to literally worry if there was a police officer.
You want to run from something?
I always, when I hear the door pounding during streams, I really think there's a cop outside. Like, when I act skittish sometimes and I'm on streams with you guys and I hear pounding on my door, I don't think it's a neighbor, I don't think it's a package, I think it's an officer here to arrest me. That's how tense my life really is.
Not only that, though, because they overcharged us, our accountant put down that we owed that money on our tax returns for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So he overcharged us over $100,000 for 5 years on our taxes. Plus $72,000 for SSI that they decided to ask us for. And then as soon as that happened the same year, YouTube just told us, oh, by the way, you're only getting 10% of your old videos, all 5,000 of them.
Yep.
So there's that, and we're like, thanks, but like, we kind of needed that money now.
See, Amber and I were really smart though. Like, all the things that we've done on this channel, because we've amassed so many views, we were able to make a pretty decent income. Because even though those videos are only making about 50 cents or $1 a month, we have 7,000 videos almost. So all that stuff adds up. So now what you need to do is you need to subtract about 60 to 90% of that, and that's how much we're going to make. Which I'm hoping will be enough for rent and to at least pay the government what I owe them, but I don't know. If they remove our playlist now, according to a YouTube staff person I was talking to, even if the entire channel isn't listed for kids and they remove our playlist, with our notifications gone, because only 50% of your content has to be flagged for you to lose notifications. So, and you guys already have a hard enough time finding videos as it is. Like, it's just, I don't know how I'm going to be able to continue business as usual, so to speak, without, you know, just ranting sometimes.
What we're saying is, like, they already destroyed us a long time ago. We weren't even supposed. We're just limping.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're limping.
They weren't. We're not even supposed to be here.
They were following the mantis. We would have been.
I'm not
supposed to be alive. Like they're wondering how we're surviving. It's like, because we have nowhere else to go.
Like, I'm not going to tell you guys the big YouTubers I talk to because I'm pretty sure they want to remain anonymous, but they have told me point blank, if they were dealing with what I've been dealing with for years and they weren't able to reach their subscribers, without notifying you guys, they would just quit. Like, if they couldn't make their income, like, and live the lifestyle. They said lifestyle, by the way, not survive. Amber and I are trying to survive. With all the things we owe and all the strife and all the depression and everything we're through. They said if they weren't making their income, they would quit. Because it's not fair that they wouldn't be able to reach their viewers that they've worked so hard to create.
Well, of course it's not fair, but life isn't fair.
Right, and that's what I told them. And it's like, they said, well, I mean, you and Amber are kind of, I guess, strong for doing that, but at the same time, what's the point of going if you can't even reach your audience? Like, how do you deal with people making fun of you for having lower views than everybody else? And, you know, we get that on, we get berated all the time.
I'll tell
like
you
that
how to
by
deal
viewers.
with it. It's actually easier to deal with than when I didn't have YouTube.
81.
But that's still better than my life before YouTube. That's how I deal with it. It's still better. This is still better. That's what I'm actually afraid of. I'm going through all this crap, and like I'm actually worried about it ending because then I want to go back to something even worse. This is still better. It's like in that cartoon where I Love Gravity Falls, where he's like Mabel's friends come over and they're screaming and yelling, throwing pillows and acting insane, and he's like, oh, you know, can you just make your friends leave so I can get to sleep? And she's just like, no, we're having a summer party. And he's like, but I'm here. He's like, this is so annoying, and he couldn't sleep. Then he goes outside and he starts to have a wolf gnaw on his foot, and he's like, this is still better. That's how I feel. It's like, even though this is horrible, this is still better for me, not for you. Your life was better, but mine wasn't. So that's why you're gonna go live with your grandma, and I am living in government housing with my bakery job. I'm not going.
Let's just not.
I'm just saying that's what I plan.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, I mean, it's just kind of like, I feel like I have a responsibility for the audience that I've created to tell people what's going on when it looks like it's the end. I mean, I don't think it's completely the end, but I think it's going to be... it's no secret that come January is always the hardest time for a YouTuber because our income always drops. So now...
That used to be the opposite.
Well, no.
December and January was like more money than you made throughout the whole year.
Yeah, now that isn't even a thing anymore.
That's
like, we don't have like... I will tell you guys a little YouTube secret now that YouTube is pretty much dead. But holiday time is where YouTubers would get like what was kind of like a bonus. You would have like... Say most of the year you have like a $5 CPM. Well, come Christmas time, like right around, we'll say the middle of October, your CPM could raise anywhere between $10, $15, or $20. Our CPM this year has been $5 flat, like we're salary. There's been no holiday pay. Usually, because we've been struggling so much, the holidays is how we like be little squirrels. And we pay our rent like 3 to 4 months in advance because we know that when, you know,
the Empire's forced the villagers
January,
from their
February, and March roll in when we're not really making any income, we've already paid our rent for those months. I don't know if we can even make 2 months' rent ahead of time before the fact that we were told, and I'm according to an email that the FTC gave to people, we were told that they were going to roll this stuff out in January. They're starting now. So that means everybody's holiday stuff is going to be affected. I am taking a risk by not labeling my channel 4Kids now because I'm desperately trying to earn enough money to pay more than 1 month's rent. because I don't know if I'll be able to afford rent, because the thing is, most YouTubers don't know what your income is going to be until 2 to 3 days after the data has cleared. So once this stuff passes January 1st or whatever, and YouTube takes 60 to 90% of your income, we're not going to see how drastic a drop that is until January 3rd or 4th. You'll have no idea. And after that, then you'll know. Which is horrifying. And without the properties needed to, you know, continue doing stuff like that, I mean, I had already spent, ever since September, I went through a huge list of games and talked to Amber. I was like, we probably can't cover E-rated games anymore. And this was back in September. And we planned out a backup plan, you know, of other properties and franchises we could look at that have an audience. Now we have no backup plan because those brands are considered child attractive. I don't, and right now I have a migraine, so I can't think of a solution. The only solution I can think of to look at some of those things, like, people want us to look at the new Lego Star Wars. I would love to, but I'm going to have to do it on Twitch.
But I have a question, though.
Go for it.
Like, even when I was a little kid, I would watch videos on music tutorials. I would watch videos on documentaries about history. Why are those not considered child attractive? Because kids actually watch those.
They are. I forgot to mention that.
Kids like to learn stuff.
Any type of learning and education video already since September. We haven't been paying attention to the learning channels and the scientific people and all these other things, like the History Channel, all these other people that have been demonetized because they don't fall in our circle.
But you're saying
they've already been hit.
But adults and kids watch those.
It doesn't matter. Like, those people, like, they are on Twitter complaining about this too, but they're such a minority on YouTube that no one is paying attention to their pleas.
Well, I just want to say something for the family-friendly channels that were on YouTube, is that
I have a lot of respect for them.
A lot of people don't know this, but family-friendly channels risk not being promoted the same way other channels were. Of course, they had a higher CPM per video because no one would promote them.
Yep.
That was the trade-off. You either became a family-friendly channel, no one would promote you. You would be lost in the search engine because no big YouTubers would want to promote you or collab with you. Or you could be a channel with lots of profanity and then you'd be promoted. And then, of course, you would make up that amount of money because you would be promoted, so you would earn 10 times more than you would otherwise. So that's why. That's what these people don't understand, how the system of YouTube was set up. They're saying, no, you were encouraging people to make family-friendly channels. No, we weren't. You know how hard it was to be a family-friendly channel?
Our network was always
you didn't get promoted.
mad at us.
Every network we ever went to was like, if you don't play an M-rated game, you know, then we're not going to pay you this month. You know, they would threaten us, they would scream at us, everything.
They wanted us, like, we bounced through so many different networks. They told us they wanted us to play M-rated games on this channel. And we said no.
Yeah, you weren't. I mean, the family-friendly channels were a special breed of channels on YouTube that had a... See, not everyone could be a family-friendly channel. That's the thing. We used to have friends that would say, you know, I wish I could make a channel, like, appropriate for kids, but when I'm playing those certain games, they get really upset and I curse, so I really wouldn't be able to do that. And so that's the thing, is that it was a special breed of people who literally took the time and energy and censored themselves. We had to censor ourselves and everything we were doing to make sure that it was okay for, you know, everyone to watch. And not everyone even had the ability or the patience to do that. And because of that, we never got promoted. We actually got unpromoted, anti-promoted on YouTube.
We got blacklisted by every network we worked with.
Blacklisted, everything. So of course, and then but then after persevering for years, YouTube, we found out that YouTube was paying a little bit more for the family-friendly ads. So we just kept going. We thought, you know what, we're blacklisted anyway. and we'll just keep going with this. And, you know, we just keep doing it. And we found out that there's actually a lot of people that had kind of similar ideas. You know, there's a lot of people out there that did, you know, channels. I mean, I feel like one huge thing that may save us in the long run. I don't know what this will mean. But Luke and I always wanted kids. Since 2006, we wanted kids. The very first year we got married.
What was in there?
Never had kids. Never had kids. Never, just never happened. I've not, like, I never took birth control or anything. Our whole marriage never had kids. It was weird. Like, we've been ridiculed by our family for not having them, whatever. And every time we get asked, I'm always like, well, I would love to have kids. I guess it just hasn't happened. I don't know. Like, how am I supposed to know what? So, and that's the thing is, like, that's the thing is, like, if we had had kids on our channel, we would have already been, I mean, I would be on the street right now. Because if you have a kid in a video, you're done.
Yep.
So, the thing is, us not having kids, like, we never ended up having kids yet, our whole life. Maybe that was for a reason. Maybe it was to keep us on. Who knows? Maybe we'll survive. I don't know.
We won't know till January, but like there's very few things that we can do now because I know there are probably parents that are annoyed that, like, well, I mean, just stop looking at child brands. It's like not everything we do is a child brand. Geek culture is, you know, everybody. It's not. There are certain things that are just only for kids. I would say I could make a huge argument that Yokai Watch and Pokemon are mostly for kids because they still have like a very big child presence. But things like Star Wars, comic books, movies, cartoon shows, I could make if somebody would actually support me, like I could go to Washington and I could meet these people head on and, you know, do this, but I don't have the funding to go down there. I don't have the resources at my disposal to argue with these people. I really don't want to, but I feel like most of the people that are going there to fight for this are severely undereducated when it comes to, you know, because I was in marketing before I ever became a YouTuber. Like, I worked for Sears, like, in their marketing thing. You know, I understand how brands and stuff work. I was actually pretty smart before my car accident. I still, you know, that's how I was able to work my way up in the game industry too, is because I understood how brands worked. I understand demographics and audiences and all this other stuff. That's how I was able to make a successful YouTube channel for Kwings Let's Plays, is because I knew the type of brands that people weren't covering that, you know, would work out really well, that weren't forgotten, that had audiences. Things that I enjoyed growing up that, you know, adults enjoyed today. Things like Turtles, Power Rangers, Batman, you know, superheroes, comic books, all that stuff. Like, all I did was just find a market for it and I went for it. That's how I created my company. Just showcasing, you know, this type of stuff. Which isn't illegal, but it's made out to be basically illegal now.
Yeah, but what I mean... What I was saying, like, is that people, like, when we were flagged for thinking that we had kids in our videos because my voice is high in a lot of the videos, they actually went to, you know, our network and they were like, well, they have kids in their videos, we're taking their whole channel. And the network people have known us for years. They know everything about us, they know everything, and they, you know, they had to explain to them. They're like, no, we know them. They don't even have, like, if we had kids, they would have had an argument like, how do you know one of their kids wasn't in the video? But the fact that we never have had kids,
oops,
we don't even have kids. That's what our network's argument was like. You guys don't even have, they don't even have kids. How can you claim these? So, I mean, they couldn't do anything there. I'm just saying, like, that was years of pain to dodge one bullet there.
Yeah, but it's like everybody has had this wrong for so long. I mean, I don't even know if people will watch this video about this kind of thing, but I hope that people who follow me, who are big YouTubers, will actually reevaluate the content that you do, and I know that you're going to take a huge risk by marketing your channel for kids, or part of your channel. I mean, hopefully you've covered other games other than, you know, just a lot of the popular Nintendo games that are E for everyone, because you're going to have people come after you. It sucks, but, I mean, you need to be pushing that. You need to understand that the FCC and the U.S. government are your enemies. They're not good people, and you need to fight them. And the way that you fight them is getting them to change this bill. And you can't be intimidated by people on Twitter who, you know, are for one part of political party over another and saying that you're doing horrible things to kids. This has nothing to do with kids. It's a lie. It has to do with, you know, ads and all this other stuff. And it has to do with politicians being so out of touch that they don't understand that there are actually brands that adults are supporting. And without the adults buying the things like the collectibles and the video games, there would be no more Star Wars. There would be no more Power Rangers. There would be no more comic books. Because kids aren't interested in that stuff anymore. What the demographic for children today is mobile gaming. And it's not superhero mobile games. It's like things like oh my gosh, I can't think of most of these properties, like Angry Birds and, you know, all this other stuff. Kids are not the sole audience for half of the brands that the FTC is going after. They're going after stuff that they remember when they were kids. You know?
Oh my gosh, that's exactly it, Luke.
That's it.
These people are in their 70s.
Yep.
That are in Congress.
Yep.
So they're going after superheroes.
Yep.
Because they saw that when they were kids.
Going after Star Wars, superheroes, Hello
so basically,
Kitty.
They're doing any franchise that's really old.
No, it's not anything that's cartoonish, anything that looks like it could be attractive to a child, they're going after. So they're so out of touch that they don't get it. And that's the problem. If it was just like if the US government came to my house, if an FTC person wanted to speak with me, I would go speak to them. They don't want to, though. They don't want YouTubers to get involved because they want to pass this so they can tax people exponentially. That's also what this is kind of about. They want to screw people over. So that they can make a lot of money.
Here's my biggest question. Once they destroy us all and they get rid of YouTube, because YouTube will literally either be severely crippled
then
or
you'll just have more celebrities come onto YouTube.
But I'm saying, what?
Like actual celebrities.
What is their ultimate goal? Like, what is their ultimate... Like, what will actually happen? Like, they will up the price for cable and movies after that? What will actually happen?
I don't know.
What is their goal? Why do they want to destroy YouTube? What is their evil plan?
Don't know.
After YouTube is gone, obviously YouTube is in the way of their plan. What will they do then? You know? That's my question. They obviously have a plan, an after plan. Unless they're just angry for no reason. And just...
I don't know, but it's interesting that most of the properties that they listed are all things that were children related when they were kids, but like I said, I mean, a lot of this is a huge misunderstanding, but it's going to cause people to be ruined over basically ignorance. It's upsetting.
That's the thing, like, you know, say they ruin a bunch of people's lives and businesses, and those people end up on the street or whatever. You can't really go up to them later after they've, like, you know, after their family has fallen apart and they lost their home and everything, and just be like, oh, oops, I'm sorry. We'll retract the law now. It's like,
so what was in there?
Yeah, you kind of destroyed everyone's life already. So, like, you can't actually go back on that. Like, you know, it's devastating for a person not to be able to have rent for even a month or whatever. Like, you know, it's gonna really affect people. They can't just, like, retract it 3 years later. Like, I don't know, it's just stupid.
Well, it's not gonna be 3 years later. We're everything we know could completely change by the end of December.
Yeah.
Like, everything. there are some, like I said, not all of them are evil. There are some good people in the FTC that are actually willing to listen, but you have to remember it's 50-50. There's a group there that is adamantly trying to push this and ratify it even further to include more things that they say are kid attracted. Things that they've listed: DC Comics, Batman now, anime, animation, drawings, collectibles, adult collectibles, all kinds of things.
Here's a really interesting thought, though. So FTC is doing this all from pressure from the media.
Probably.
Because all the stuff that happened in the media, I feel like they're being pressured. They are acting like as if they're making all the decisions, they're pulling all the strings, but in reality, that's not actually the entire case, especially because they originally were influenced by the media to begin with. So if the FTC won't listen, then the next step, and say they won't listen at all, the next step you go to is getting the story, the correct story out to the media. I mean, I know the media is evil, but I'm just saying, like, if you could find local places that would talk about the story of what is happening to YouTubers and their lives, and how their lives are being destroyed in the media. If the media, radio shows, blogs, everything, like, people from the media, if they're able to get that out there over and over again, if people in the media are able to sympathize with YouTubers and what is going on to their lives, then FTC, even though they don't want to, would have no choice but to change what they're doing. That's how I feel. Get over here, intruder. But anyway, I'll just let you play your game. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I mean, I'm gonna get to another point where I'm gonna stop.
Okay, let me give you an example. I was just thinking of an example of something. I know. So a long time ago, probably like every girl, I used to be kind of a fan of Marilyn Monroe or whatever. I thought she was kind of cool, but not really anymore because she's not what she seems to me. But anyway, I read her biography a long time ago, but basically she had a thing in there where she said she was in some movie, she did really well, but basically she was asked to do some very corrupt things to continue to be in movies, and she said no. I don't want to. I'd rather just get this from my own talent or whatever. So they didn't put her in any more movies. She never got a call back. She was blacklisted. So what happened was, with a few movies, like, this was written in her biography, that in the few movies that she was in already.
What does this have to do with it?
I have a point here. The few movies that she was in already, there were tons and tons and tons of letters of people asking her for her to be in the movies again. And the executives that told her no way had no choice but to put her back on there, even though they hated her. So I'm saying, if you get somebody else to go back for you, to the FTC, to pour in tons and tons of stuff into them, then you can, even if they don't want to, even if they decided not to do it, they'll have to anyway. If you get someone bigger than the FTC to influence them, they will have no choice. I highly doubt that they're going to reverse their situation. There's only one chance is to get someone bigger than them.
Let me explain.
That's what I'm trying to... I did a really long thing about it, but that was my really long explanation.
Yeah,
that's what I was saying.
It didn't really make sense. Don't do that.
Okay.
Alright, so... the reason why this bill passed under the last administration in 2013 is there was no opponents to it. Like, on the FTC website, there was 99 comments from companies like Disney and Warner Brothers and Fox and things like that, saying this is going to affect our online businesses. And actually, a lot of online sites in 2013 for Cartoon Network and Disney and all this other stuff shut down because of some of the new, COPPA things. And, YouTube wasn't affected by that yet because nobody knew that they were actually encouraging kids to go and make, have their parents make accounts and things like that. And this is also the parents' fault because they were letting YouTube, they were letting their kid watch whatever, and YouTube was like the Wild West. There are people on there that they're gonna do and say whatever they want because there's no there's no responsibility or accountability on YouTube. There are some people like Amber and I that were like, there's a possibility that kids could watch our stuff, so we're going to keep our language PG.
Yeah.
We're not going to dumb ourselves down to be kid-friendly, mind you, but we're going to make it so that a kid is not going to learn to swear or innuendo jokes from us. So we had personal accountability for our actions. Whereas every YouTuber was just like, you know what, it doesn't matter. We're just going to say and do whatever we want because it's our channel. We always viewed our channel as something that potentially could be seen by people of all ages. And that's how we did things.
Well, yeah, I mean, we used to get questioned by people all the time, like, well, why are you going to all this extra effort? Why do you care? Why do you care? It's not your problem. It's not your fault. We even used to have conversations with somebody very near and dear to us that used to say, it's not your job to babysit people. It's not your job to do this. And we're like, I know, but nobody else is doing it. It's my thing.
That's fine.
Thank you so much for the super chat, X-Ray Cat. Says, oh, wow, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for the donation, and, I think that's in USD.
I'll get after him.
Thank you so much for the donation, Extra Cat. I really appreciate it, and it says, bless you, Kwings, such a refreshing, wholesome channel. I've been siphoned by the government before. Food always helps me. Here's to pizza or something yummy. Oh, thank you so much, Extra Cat. I really appreciate that. He got us, he said, here's for something yummy or sweet. I think Luke can hear you, I'm not sure.
I can vaguely hear you, yeah.
Thank you so much for the super chat. I think Luke can see it.
Yes, I can
Okay.
see it. I can't really read, honey.
Thank
It
you
hurts-
very
It
much.
hurts my eyes.
We really appreciate that. Thank you.
But you guys don't have to worry about like this discussion in the actual Star Wars series. Like we actually talk about Star Wars things and things like that. This is a
Yeah.
live stream. This is this we just had a grenade explode in our lap today, and I tweeted about it because I was so upset. I was trying to find some way of dealing with this. I think that it's possible that we can get some of this bill overturned, but we need the most important thing YouTubers need to do when they speak to the FTC is they need to get that child attractive clause ripped out. Because if that is gone, then that means that adults can look at geek culture brands again without any problems. But Doctor Who, Marvel, everything is being considered a kid brand. And that's not true. But without the legal wording in the bill, then everybody is done. And, you know, it's scary. It's very scary. Like, for me right now, if the FTC was watching, I would make a strong argument that this game is not for kids. I mean, the only reason, speaking to LucasArts, why this game got a T rating is because you cannot cut off the arms and legs and heads of the stormtroopers with your lightsaber. Now, there has been other T-rated Star Wars games where it kind of allowed you to cut off people's arms.
Yeah, and
but
just,
they removed it for this game because they were trying to keep their T rating.
But you guys, just to let you guys know how much of a vice that YouTube has YouTubers in, you guys are probably thinking, like, why don't you just play M-rated games all the time, theoretically? The reality is, all the monetization from M-rated games is gone, too.
Yep.
So... So,
it's a
like,
catch-22.
So you can't play M-rated games, or you don't get paid for it. You definitely can't play E-rated games, or you don't get paid for it. The only thing left is T-rated games. But no, you don't have T-rated games either, because T-rated games have Spider-Man or Star Wars. So, I mean, what is left really? And that's the whole thing. Is it's just like when, you know, like the evil stepmother tells Cinderella, oh, you can definitely go to the ball, but you have to do all your chores first, which is going to take like 7 hours, and the ball's in 1 hour, so it's just, they're you know, they're going to say that you can survive, but how can anyone really do that? Like, So yeah.
So let me explain something to you guys too. A lot of you are like, well, I don't understand why super chats would be gone. Well, super chats are tied to comments. So when this channel in January is labeled as for kids, all our comments are going to be removed on every single video that we make. That includes live streams. In fact, live streams might be prohibited. Like, we might lose the option. See, as a YouTube partner, based on your subscriber size, you gain different perks. When you reach a certain tier, it unlocks other things. Just like people with millions of subscribers, they're able to do different things with their live streams than we are. Since we hit a certain rank, we're able to live stream. I think it's like 50,000, 100,000 subscribers. You know, originally that's what they did with live streaming. And as soon as you get a copyright strike, they remove the ability to live stream. Now, while these won't be copyright strikes, they have no other way to deal with comments, and the FTC's big argument is comments are a problem for, you know, underage kids being targeted. So we want you to remove comments on the channels that we deem for kids. Now, what happened on this channel when comments were removed for like a week? Do you guys remember? The super chats and the memberships became unavailable.
Well, people also thought they were blocked.
People also thought we blocked a bunch of people too. We didn't do that. YouTube was testing something, which I did finally get them to admit that they were testing a feature about what would happen to a channel when they removed the comment section from live streams.
What do you mean they were testing us?
They tested us and they tested like 50 other YouTubers that week.
So
randomly.
They took our income.
Yes, they did. And they apologized, but an apology is nothing.
How does apology pay your rent, though?
Exactly. And the fact that they did it on a weekend, right when we needed those super chats for our income, that was truly sinister.
But there's people that have never come back after that.
I know.
It's not that people thought we blocked all our things. They each thought that they were the ones blocked specifically.
Yep.
Every single person thought that they were the only one blocked.
So, I mean, Ruga and you guys, you remember that, like, 3 weeks ago, our comment section was removed across the channel, and you couldn't comment during live streams. That was YouTube's doing as they were testing a feature for what happens if you could remove those abilities.
And what did they conclude from that? That they're evil?
They concluded from that is, according to FTC, that you're not able to basically sponsor that channel that is for kids. So there is no way that you could be profiting off children because you don't have that membership option and you don't have the super chats.
Here's my question. If they're the ones who give you that membership option and the super chats, why wouldn't they just take the option away to have the membership and the super chats? Why would they remove the comments?
What they really need to do is they need to add a feature where... I've already talked to YouTube about this. They said no. But I just want to tell you guys this because I've been trying to be smart about this. They're saying that kids under 13 are a problem. Right now, the only option to block children is to label your videos 18 and up. But if they have an account of a parent they're using, and millions of them are, by the way, millions of kids who are under the age of 13 who can't make a YouTube channel, don't do that. They can't watch videos anyway or comment. So I told YouTube, I said, why can't you just make a feature on YouTube that blocks everyone under the age of 13 from watching your videos? And they said, well, that would really affect our bottom line. And it's like...
But that's what it's doing to our bottom line!
Exactly.
What the freak are they talking about? That's exactly what they're doing to everyone else's bottom line!
Just like YouTubers who make, like, age-rated content, they will not make their content 18 plus.
They care about their bottom line, but not ours?
Right.
But then that's my whole point. That is my whole point this entire time. This is my whole point this entire time. I will tell you my entire point. Those Disney Infinity videos that we have stopped making money off since 2014, and we've had to work ourselves to death to try to make that money that literally they took from us because they took 90% of our income from Disney Infinity videos that have 10 million views or more, whatever.
Yep.
Those videos have ads on them. This is my entire point, and no one ever seems to listen to me. The videos have ads on them, which means we aren't making money on them, but somebody is. I'm saying, why is YouTube not charged now the $42,000 fine? Because now they're making money off children's content, which is our content. They're making money off of our content now. Why are they allowed to make money off of our content, but we're not allowed to make money off of it? That doesn't even make any sense. I thought the whole FTC regulation was so that people could not make money off of content. There's still people making money off the content. They're just different people.
Remember your blood pressure.
Instead of us making the money, it's everyone who works at YouTube. And then it gets spread around to everyone who works at a desk at YouTube is making our money.
Gotta calm down.
I'm saying, do you not understand what I'm saying here?
I understand what you're saying.
They are not making it. They're not taking money away from people making money on content. There's still people making money on that content. It's called YouTube. There are people that work at YouTube. It's a company, just like there's the people that work at Gaming Reviews. There's only 2 of us that work here, but there's millions that work at YouTube, but it's still people working at both. There's still money being made on child's content either way.
It's not child's content, it's geek content.
But I'm saying in their definition, it's child's content. Do you not understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I understand.
They are not, they did not solve the problem. Then they should, if we're not making money on it, it's our content, so ads should be removed immediately. What YouTubers really should do is just remove all of their videos from the platform overnight and get them all to a hard drive and remove everything, and then no one will come to YouTube. Nobody will come, because the whole reason why they're just shelling out one rule after another instead of telling us all at once is so we don't leave.
That's probably it.
They don't want us to leave, and that's the. I'm gonna tell you right now, and I'll tell you right now, the whole reason why they're not telling you till January is this exact thing. They, like you said, they want to make as much money as they can till January. They already know that everyone is going to die in January. They already know that. They know everything. They know that we're screwed.
Well, if you're following a big YouTuber and you see them on Twitch a lot, then they know what's going on. They're just not going to talk about it.
No, I'm saying that. Never mind. Like, have you ever, like, never mind. Have you ever when you live stream?
Don't do that.
When you live stream and you say, hey, you've live streamed for 6 hours, and you start saying, hey, I'm gonna start shutting down in a half an hour now. Notice, everyone starts dropping off. Everyone starts leaving immediately. If you don't tell people and you just keep live streaming and you're like, I don't know how long I'm gonna live stream, you keep going. You'll keep everyone watching until the very end. That's what they're doing. They're not telling anyone what's going on because they want everyone to keep watching till the very end. They want every possible person, every family, every kid to watch YouTube until the day that they Order 66, everyone. They want to get every penny they can.
They want to try to convince YouTubers that getting a pay cut is better than.
But it's not.
No, both things are terrible. The FTC lawsuit is horrible, but also losing your income. I mean, 60 to 90% is a lot bigger than people think. Especially when a lot of those YouTubers, their CPM hasn't risen above $5 in 6 to 9 months. So I mean, it's a death sentence.
That's what I am saying, though. They said it's not right that anyone should make money off of content that is geared for kids.
No, that's what the FTC said.
Right. But then why is YouTube making money off of it? There are ads on those videos. They should take the ads off. And then YouTube will sweat in their boots, and then they will freaking hire some of their actual. This is my whole point from the beginning. YouTube has so much freaking money that if they wanted to, they could hire some lawyers and fight this very easily. They could get some really intelligent people over there, and they could plead our case, everything. But instead, there is one tiny lawyer with one tiny YouTube channel who has to literally go out of his way and go all the way to Washington on his own dollar and try to fight this all by himself because nobody else will fight it. Why would YouTube not pay for their own set of lawyers to do this? It makes no sense.
Because they want...
None of it makes any sense, Luke.
They want the creators to be, like, responsible. Because they don't want the responsibility.
But they're going to be responsible when every creator lives in a box and has no money to have a computer to upload videos anymore because they ruined all of our lives. And we're all living in a ditch somewhere, and then they're like, ah, how come no one's coming to my platform anymore? That's what I'm talking about. They eventually will feel the repercussions of people not on YouTube. They think, oh, I'll just get somebody else to work for... Really? Somebody's gonna work for a chicken scratch? Do you know how those original creators... We are literally hanging on by a thread because we used to actually get paid a decent salary. Some people did. Or at least there was a hope of a decent salary if you got enough subscribers that people were working towards.
Also,
and lured us in with great benefits.
How hot did you put it in here? Because I'm sweating bullets. Like, what is the heat on?
Alright, well, you know what? I'm sorry for talking.
No, I'm not. I'm just...
Found the target.
Well, please put it down. Because I'm sweating profusely. I allowed you. I didn't have any issue with you ranting. It's just sometimes getting a little, you know. Maybe just turn off the heat completely. It's got to be at least 80 degrees in the house. Fine. Alright, I'll do that. So yeah, I'm gonna try to finish this level, guys and gals, and then I'm gonna call it a stream. Like, I mean, I'm not apologizing anymore for the stuff that I talked about tonight. It was important to let people know what's going on. And some of the bigger YouTubers that watch our stuff that lurk, it's important they know what's going on as well. Because everybody has it wrong. And it's... You can't plead ignorance, unfortunately. And the fact that there are other people actually making videos about this now, like... I thought something was off when this, like, toy creator, like, made a video explaining things. But then when my legal counsel actually got a hold of me and said, hey, I've been following what's going on with this, and this is what's going down. It's like, okay. That's terrifying. What now, Amber? I love you too. It's time for you to take your medicine, honey. And I'm not sorry that you talked about it. They didn't take away our stuff in 2014. 2016 is not 2014.
Is that even possible?
Go sleep, Amber. Yeah.
You're not getting out of here alive, Jedi.
But some sleep is better than no sleep.
You won't get me. I'll break your guard.
Okay, that was tough. Yeah, so, as you can tell, people, Amber and I are a little on edge. And, you know, we are humans, so this is not good. Also, we're on edge because the entire house is filled with smoke. Which, we live in a very crummy apartment that, if you don't check the burners, when you cook, you can basically put your kitchen on fire. So... This is a rotten day today. So anyway, the regular non-ranty Star Wars content that you'll see will be uploaded in the evening. New Pokemon episodes will be in the evening. And then after this year, I'm pretty sure that's it for E-rated games on this channel. Mostly sure. Unless something changes out of the blue, I don't know. Ow.
Just need one hit.
Uh-oh. Yeah, you'll have to say RIP to E-rated content on Kwings Let's Plays because, I mean, our hands are tied, guys and gals. I don't want to, but at the same time...
In accordance with the Emperor's will, we've occupied Zepho, redistributing its inhabitants. This planet has failed to yield significant data or relics for Project Augur. Its electromagnetic winds have rendered the bulk of our mining technology useless. Meanwhile, more stormtroopers lose their lives to dangerous fauna. We will not be able to fulfill our directive here. It is my recommendation that we disband the project and leave a token outpost to keep scavengers from stealing our technology.
I know you're not, Amber. I mean, a couple days ago... Oh, nuts.
Let's go tell Command about this.
A couple days ago, like, I had spoken with Abdallah and we had a nice little chat, and he assured me that things would be okay, and that both our channels would be okay, but now I don't think so. And I think that, because I was just consoling toy channels the other day too, because I was like, well, I mean, all our unboxing videos are hit. Anything toy related is gone, Amiibos, Skylanders, whatever, so about 200 videos. Just on unboxings. And I felt bad for toy creators, but then the FTC had to go and have that stupid press conference where they basically were like, we're going to be firm, we're going to go after the 23 million YouTube channels, and we're going to remind them what the law says. I mean, that right there is a declaration of war.
Stop! Intruder! You're too quick.
At least that's my impression of it.
Found you, intruder. I'm watching you. Talk all you want. I only need a few hits.
So do I. But you can see with this Star Wars game, it's a lot more platformery based than some of the other stuff, so. But yeah, I don't really know what else to say, guys and gals, and I can't read your comments because I have a serious migraine, so I really wanted to make sure you guys had a Star Wars video tonight, but I don't think I was in the best shape, personally, but eh. It's important for channels to do those new releases when they come out. Because if you don't, then nobody's going to search for your content. They really should have a save point in here, but they don't.
Enemy spotted. Got it. We've almost got him.
Dang it.
Killed a Jedi.
Dang it. Oh my gosh. head hurts. So yeah, I mean, all you guys can do, especially you kids that are upset, get your parents to contact the FTC, write a comment on our behalf, tell them the channel you watch. Try to get there's 170 of you watching, go leave a comment on FTC's website about this, and specifically mention why you like watching us, what type of impact we had on your life, or, you know, I don't know. Why this type of content's important. Because I'm going to tell you something right now. Like, a lot of those channels that are, like, X-rated or R-rated on YouTube, they're going to keep covering those E-for-All games. They'll take the hit because they have the backing on Patreon and all that other stuff. We don't. We just had YouTube for everything. Uh-oh. I guess that's the end of the stream because I don't have any... I don't think I have any battery left on my... I'm gonna take you out. Oh, never mind. I have another. Are you sure how I'm gonna fight these guys? There's no way to get your health back that I know of. Okay.
Hey, BD1.
What did that say? How do I open that?
Oh, okay. What's that?
But yeah, so I mean, it's not like gaming's gonna disappear entirely. There's gonna be channels that are gonna have to call it quits, though. Because fear will keep the public in line, as, you know, Star Wars saying goes. Man, I wish I could beat these guys. I don't think I can. I've got literally one eye closed, so that kind of distorts my my vision a little bit. But I don't have a choice because my head's pounding on... Ever since I got that news today, outside of, like, Amber, you know, smoking the house up again, which is the only person I know of that's able, in this entire complex that we live in, to constantly set off the smoke alarm. So I also got a nasty headache from the smoke alarm. Where did you come from?
Another one? Thanks, BD1.
I don't care about rocket launcher troopers. I need health. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep repeating this part over and over and over again. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I haven't gotten this far in our recorded episodes, so this is all new to me. That's why I'm struggling quite a bit. I played through the first level and that planet, but I haven't done this level yet. And I'm not really at my A game right now, so...
Stay back. Stay back. You're too quick.
What the heck? Oh, you have to use the force on it. Oh my gosh. Uh-oh. Yeah, no. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's just not doing good with my head. Oh, now I see it. Nope, never mind.
Come back here. What is it?
Ow. Oh.
Cal, the Empire's pinpointed your location. You need to move fast.
On it. Thanks.
Alright, so we're just gonna try to finish this level as best we can. Nani. Whoops.
What's over there? Incoming! Keep your heads down. Don't let up. I can't hit him. My time to shine. That's my skill. Get him! Got it. Said I'd be the last one standing. You're getting weak.
And you're getting dead.
Come back here.
Yeah, but I talked about a lot of stuff, so I mean, if you guys want to go back and listen to it, but I don't know what the future's gonna bring. All I know is it's gonna be business as normal on this channel. If you want to watch, the rest of this month and December, I really appreciate it. You guys are basically helping us afford our rent for the next couple months, because after January, at the start of January, I don't know. Because what people don't understand, YouTubers get paid like every other, we get paid month by month basis almost. So like, the money that I'm getting paid in November is from October. The money that I made in November, I'll get paid in December. The money I made in December, I'll get paid in January. It's the money after that, like January, that usually, I don't know what to tell you. It's a little crazy. So we'll have a place to live, assuming, the channel doesn't get hit in December. We should be fine until February almost. That's why I'm hoping that, that'll give me one less thing to stress about. But the funniest thing about all this, did you know that Amber and I were actually big advocates for the FTC? Like, when it came to following the law about, like, product placements and sponsorships and, non-disclosure agreements, all that other stuff, we were always in FTC accordance. So it feels like during this whole thing that we become like an enemy of the FTC, a company that we actually advocated for YouTubers to follow the law for years. And now we're put into this like huge problem, because it's like we really can't follow the law because the law is wrong. It's very difficult.
You'll pay for that. Hurting Jedi.
Also, if I would have sliced that guy's tummy like that, his torso would have come clean off. It's a lightsaber. It doesn't. It doesn't. Stop severing off limbs just because you're a person. That type of censorship is kind of stupid. My personal opinion. Oops. I have my eyes closed. I can't tell if I'm jumping right.
I found something.
What do they know?
No mention of Cordova. I don't think the Empire knows he's been here.
Then we have the advantage. For now.
Uh-oh. Hasn't really been a lot of boss battles in this. I mean, personally, guys and gals, I really hope that the guy who looked over that legal stuff for me is wrong. I really hope that the bad guys at the FTC, that the good people will be able to outvote them and things like that.
That's interesting.
It's just
On
I've
the right track.
kind of given up hope. That's all. I'm so beaten down and tired that I just don't. I don't know. I don't really. It's even at this point in time, it's hard for me to even say as a believer that God's in control, because I don't know honestly if I believe that. Like, my life is about to be ruined and I'm supposed to trust in a higher power or something. It's just very difficult. Like, I'm at my breaking point. I'm just utterly destroyed inside.
There's a storm up ahead. Something about it crippled the Empire's equipment. I can feel something pulling me.
The last time I felt this defeated is when doctors talked to me after my car accident and said I would never be the same. When they told me I would never get married, I'd never have a stable job, I would always have problems flaring up, I'd never be able to breathe right ever again, I wouldn't be able to think clear.
Alright.
You know,
I'll do my best.
It told me what my options were, and that was it. And, you know, I just have to soldier through life, they said. And even then, I thought that was it. And then I had a second chance at life with YouTube, and now that second chance being, I don't really have much tethering me to this reality anymore. Doesn't feel like it. I don't know. Just, I'm totally defeated. It doesn't help that I'm upset right now because my head is killing me, but playing Star Wars is making me feel a little better, I guess. I don't know. Whoops. What is this?
Huh. Another one of these. Wonder if they connect.
What do you mean connect? Oh, that's a Jedi thing. That's another Jedi thing. Is that it for the monsters? Nope, one more. When you use your force ability like that, it freezes them and... Oh, nuts. Never mind. Hopefully my respawn place is closer. I have a feeling it's not going to be closer. Oh. Well, I was wrong. Ow. How did that work out? Oh, because I gained experience? No aliens were hurt in the making of this game. Except for that one.
Never seen a storm do that before. Yeah, it's incredible.
My friend, I believe this to be the earliest Cepho site we've uncovered yet, despite my reservations.
I cannot chase the Bogano fault from my mind. Its visions shape the direction of an entire culture. I must understand why.
Thank you so much for the membership. At least I think it's kind of hard to see. Sorry. I'd give you a proper shout out if it was a better day than today. Huh? Thank you.
I'm in the tomb. It's massive.
And the Empire?
No sign of them down here.
What about Cordova?
Still not sure what I'm supposed to find. He's a little...
eccentric? Tell me about it. But he wouldn't send us here for his amusement. Keep an open mind.
Huh? Well, it feels like he sent us here for his amusement. There's nothing here. Oh, there's stairs there. Probably some Jedi ability.
Did you see that? Ugh.
Ow. What in the world? Oh. Yeah, you did. I'm still here, people. I'm just trying to... I think I might have reached the end for tonight. So you have to wait until our LP series picks up to where this left off. Probably be a couple days, but, I can't, the pounding in my head is just way too much. See, unlike most people, I have more problems with, smoke and other things than most people. Like, most people's house fills up with smoke, they don't get sick. Like, because I have issues respiratory wise, I don't know. I mean, a headache is common with carbon monoxide poisoning or smoke poisoning or whatever's in smoke. I don't remember. But I'm just dizzy, cranky, head's killing me. I can't take medicine for it because it doesn't work. I'm immune to most painkillers. So the only thing that's gonna help is sleep. I will try to get your Star Wars videos up tomorrow. I don't know about live streaming. I was gonna live stream the whole Fortnite Stormtrooper thing, but I mean, you could just tell by the sound of my voice. I'm broken. I'm devastated, confused, angry. At a loss, mostly, you know? When you've done something your whole, like, 10, 12, I've done this for 12 years of my life, you know? I went out of my way to learn how to do this business legally, working with game developers, buying licenses to cover content. You know, just everything's... It feels like everything's over. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I'm a pessimist. I'm a New Yorker. We're pessimists. We're not optimists. Something bad happens. I mean, the only time I can think of where New Yorkers really did stuff where, you know, we banded together and we tried to look out for one another was after 9/11. And that only lasted for like half a year. And then everybody was back to being selfish again. Like nothing ever happened. But, if somebody needs to hear this, God bless and happy gaming. I hope you guys have a great night. And thanks so much for hanging out on the Star Wars stream. Please contact the FTC. Contact your state legislators. Let them know about how bad this bill is and how it needs to be ratified. Because people's lives depend on it. My life depends on it. Amber's life. So many people. Thousands. And not just in the U.S. either. The U.S., you have to remember, is a country that's considered wealthy. What about, you know, all the countries that you have people who live in poor, impoverished countries who do this for a living too? And YouTube is going to take away their income. Like, them doing this job on YouTube is helping them stay alive, mostly putting food on the table for their families, dealing with communist governments and regimes and all this other stuff. You know, they have hope. And with this hope being taken away, it might not seem a lot to, you know, people who don't do this, but for the people that actually have based their life on this, I mean, 12 years is a long time. And just to have it, like, snapped away is, I don't know. I don't know how you recover from that. But I'll have a better day tomorrow, probably, and then the next day, who knows. But yeah, have a great night, people. I'm done. This has been Star Wars, 3 hours of the game. Our content begins sometime tomorrow night. That's it for me.